Welcome back, everyone. This is Akinar here with more Blueprints. Let's go ahead and jump in to day 30, the big 3-0. We've actually been on the estate now for a month, and which is funny because that's about the same amount of time since I last played the game. The release of Silksong has sort of been capturing my attention in recent days and weeks. But I am not. I don't think we are done yet here with the estate. We are not done by any stretch. There are still things to do. There are still mysteries to discover, and I'm happy. I'm so happy to be sitting down today with the to give to have another draft. It's very exciting. Last time, if we quickly go to day 29, just remind myself here, we did end with a freezer, didn't we? That's why we have a nice little stash of coins to start today, which is nice. We also had a draft that didn't really cooperate with us, so we never got off the East Wing. We did make it to, I guess, classroom rank 4, grade 4, which was kind of mind-blowing with all of the star and geography charts that were in there. They weren't really star charts. I guess there were, though. There was like some planetary alignment information on those, in addition to the geographical lay of the land. I still the scope of this game sometimes is kind of scary. Just how the ever expanding realm of your knowledge that's going to be tested here, and how are we going to put it all together? We'll have to see how this goes. We did make the master bedroom. We got that. Finally, I've been hunting that down for a long time. It turned out to be a little bit of a disappointment because the flavor text in the Red Prince was nice, but it was kind of just that, flavor text. Nothing that seemed to contribute to any of our puzzle solving. And also, there was no king piece in the master bedroom. So that was a surprise because her ladyship's chamber has a queen, and I would have sworn that the master bedroom would have the corresponding king. So our chess puzzle still remains incomplete on that front, but we'll see what we can do. I've also received a little bit of information here about the attic. We'll see when we get our hands on an attic next time, but apparently I've received a nudge that I finally took a look at in the comments, that the attic apparently has something that I have missed. I don't know what, but I guess it's supposed to be rather well hidden. So I shouldn't maybe feel too bad about missing it before, but we'll see if and when we get our hands on an attic again. I just wanted to note that that is at the back of my mind. So yeah, let's get it going again here. It's been a while since I have sat down to do a draft myself. And it's time to get back in the swing of things. We do have this Blessing of the Gardener. So there's a crap ton of courtyards in our pool. And we have a whole lot of coins as well. Oh, it's cool that you can actually click on each of these. I don't think I've ever done that before. We know all about these various resources. Can I not click on steps? There it is. There it is. So all the information that you need is there. And let's see what our outer room is going to be. Should we just take a root cellar here? I was kind of hoping for a trading post. We have inventions and contraptions still that we want to make. And I remembered at some point in my little blueprints break that there is a stick of dynamite in that trading post. And I realized, wait a second, couldn't we light that stick of dynamite with a burning glass? Couldn't we do that? We won't get to test that today, but that is another thing on my to-do list eventually. Just blow up the trading post. We've had so much fun with it, but now it's time to set it skyrocketing to the demolition heap. If anything, I would think that could open up a path to this secret chamber that we're supposed to, one of our outer rooms is supposed to have a secret hidden chamber. Wouldn't it make sense to use a big old stick of dynamite to blow it open? But we're going to, I think, settle for the root cellar today and try to get our hands on a shovel. We have 8 courtyards. You got to think that your chances of getting at least one shovel at some point in those courtyards is going to be pretty decent. Let's try it out. Because of that, I will not go into the root cellar yet because we have all the dig sites to come back to once we do get our hands on a shovel. But also, there's always a possibility that maybe there's a shovel in there. So let's just check. We did have last time with the schoolhouse the fact that there was a broken lever that I totally wasn't expecting. I probably shouldn't be too quick to just say, oh, there's not going to be an item in this room. I should probably make sure that I'm not assuming anything, taking anything for granted. Our Mount Holly family tree, which could still prove to be very important at some point. I haven't figured out yet how it weaves into any particular puzzle, but it is nice to get another glimpse at the family tree. The characters that we have become so much more familiar with. Aha! This is an interesting note to revisit because we have seen before. I've made note of the fact that there is an XYZ ABC down here at the bottom. I don't remember if we talked about this previously or if I was thinking about this off camera and I happened to, because I think I was checking my my notes in when I was editing the new Clue episode, and we had this XYZ ABC that featured very prominently in that book. And then I don't remember at what point I had a realization that, the root cellar has the same sequence. Why does it have that? I think this is going to have to wait, though, for when I start. I'm at some point here, probably after today, probably after this draft, will be a good spot for us to have another note review session. I really need to take the time to try to process the information from the new Clue book, because there's a lot there. There's a lot going on, but that sequence in particular, the XYZ ABC, and trying to figure out which words to pull from which books, that is something that we want to figure out at some point. But that'll wait for now. Let's begin our draft in the house. Okay. Do I want to take a dead end here at the top of the entrance hall? I might do that. That wouldn't be the worst thing. We do not have a key card yet, so we can't guarantee to get out through the foundation if our draft is closed off to us, but a couple dice would not be the worst way for us to get things started here. So I think I will do that as opposed to taking the corridor and guaranteeing myself that room into rank 3. When we have so many courtyards in the pool, we should be able to have lots of doors open to us as we make our way out of the entrance hall. So I will take that guy's bedroom. Let's get those 2 dice banked away. Such a valuable resource for pretty much every single draft. So there we go. And we say hi to our friendly Geist. And we will head, I think, I always have this this bias of, I think, going to the right for whatever reason. I just have this idea in my mind that I'm going to go to the east and I'm going to work my way up and get myself a green room. Not a green room, but a greenhouse. I'm going to get a greenhouse as I work my way up the east wing, as opposed to, you can't get it on the west wing unless you're working your way down or working your way left. So it just feels more natural to try to go for it on the east side. So let's do that. Let's do that, and I think I will take the den for that reason. The den over the parlor, just to make sure we have more doors, more better. The observatories are pretty nice now with all the stars that we have. Getting a Diamondus Major in there is a pretty likely possibility now. But we've also had our run-ins with the Southern Cross and Draxus the Dead, which aren't quite as exciting. But with 2 observatories in our pool, that is likely to come back around. Let's just give ourselves the doors for now. And I think I will work my way through the den. Get the gem here. There's no trunk. But we will draft the corner first to see if we get our hands on like a conservatory or something like that. We do not, but we do get a commissary. So I think that's an easy commissary pickup. With all this gold that we have, we want the commissary here for sure. That is the easiest commissary of my life. And then we will draft, I think, from the den before we go to the commissary, because if that's a dead end, that's a pretty natural place to put a dead end. Or we could take a corridor here. Or we could take another den and get ourselves another gem, but then we would kind of be wasting a door, so to speak, going to the east wing. The other option would just be to treat the observatory as a dead end, which is, I am actually kind of okay with that, I think. The observatory, the chance at getting those 5 gems from the observatory is so enticing. And not to mention whatever other effects that we get on top of it. So I think I'm okay taking it as a dead end here. That feels all right. Hopefully we don't get too unlucky with the door out of the commissary. But even if we do get a dead end there, we still got the west wing open to us. And I think this is the way we want to go. Let's see what's available here. We do get the Diamondus Major, it looks like. So that's awesome. Plus 5 gems. Let's go. It does also look like they're offering us the Southern Cross. I'm not sure that I want the Southern Cross. I think I will take these others because I think we have, looks like the Farmer's Apple. And it looks like we have Clavis the Key. And then we have the Twins. Okay, so that's a nice little setup there. The only one I don't really, honestly, I just don't want the Southern Cross because I don't like how it forces me into the archives and the weight room, putting those as more prominent choices. We've been down that road now so many times with the duct system and getting the boiler room and all those related things. Like, yes, the laundry room is very powerful, so getting yourself on track to a laundry room is not bad per se, but it also feels like we've been down that road so many times. So I don't know that that's the way I want to steer the draft. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to avoid the Southern Cross. This is one of these things where I can't say I've like min-maxed it. Like I haven't run the numbers or anything like that. I don't have a model that is giving me statistical information here. This is just a gut instinct. This is an intuition, a feeling that I don't want to do the Southern Cross today. What I am feeling, though, is the fact that there is a sledgehammer in the commissary. I think we're just going to buy all this stuff right now. No need to wait for a coupon book. Let's just get all these things. We're going to have a lot of steps today because we also have a sleeping mask and running shoes. Excellent. And we'll take the magnifying glass as well. That's a nice start to our draft because now the sledgehammer can get us the twin trunks. Let's draft here first. We do still want a shovel. That was maybe the unfortunate thing about the commissary. There's no shovel available to us. But let's see what room is offered here. It does dead end us going up the unless I redraw. I think I might redraw here because I want to get a courtyard at least that would point me through to rank 3. And my library is useless here other than we do get to read the next book, ? Did we put in an order for the next book? But we would not get to draft a less common floor plan. So, but it is a natural library, right? There's something to be said about the fact that the library just is there as a, we're not getting it through the reading nook. So we could have a chance at a second library. The problem is our reading list is down to the end, I think. Until we pick up Realm and Rune from the bookshop, we don't have another option once we get through the next book. Unless we want to start checking stuff out again, which maybe we should. Maybe we should go back to some of those older books, especially with the new clue. The information we got there, we might need to go through and recheck some older books. But I feel like I'm going to redraw because I want a room that points me up to rank 3. Okay, so I could do that with a chapel or a secret passage. I think the secret passage actually feels pretty good here because that gets us a real good shot at a greenhouse. I really like the idea of us getting a greenhouse or some other, maybe veranda. A veranda with 8 courtyards. I might even take a veranda first, to be honest, because it shoots us up to rank 4. And it makes the chances of getting a shovel so much more likely. I think we didn't pick up any gems from the commissary, interestingly. There were no gems on sale here. So our gem count is good, but it wasn't nearly as high as I was kind of thinking it was going to be once we picked up that Diamondus Major. But I think it's still worth taking a shot here with the secret passage, right? Because all the digging that we're going to be doing, all the digging, and I guess we just never dig up gems, though. Gems, there's twin trunks in the entrance hall. There could be gems there, and we get to open those with a sledgehammer. Let's take the secret passage and go for a green room. Now, do I go for that green room right this moment? I think so. I think we take our chance at the green room, because if we can get either a greenhouse or a veranda, I really like how that feels. Is there any chance that I have missed anything extra in the secret passage? There's no there's no hidden book here that has a switch or anything that I have overlooked. But when I have the idea in my mind, the nudge that's been given about the attic, I was not under the impression that I had missed anything in the attic. So you never know. But I don't think I see anything in the secret passage other than our bookshelf that directs us into a particular colored room. Okay, we do get both the veranda and the greenhouse offered to us, so I guess this is the moment of truth. I think I'm taking the veranda. When you have 8 courtyards in your pool, you don't really, when you think about it, you don't actually, the greenhouse is not nearly as good of a room as you might think. The greenhouse is still good because it does get you gems, and it gets you likely a watering can, although we've gotten a shovel here before. I really want to try to guarantee us getting a shovel, though, and I think that's why I picked the veranda. I might also quickly check my notes here to see what is the soil composition, just to remind myself here. What would give us more gems in the greenhouse? What rank? I think it's rank 4 actually is a little better. But I need to check my notes. Outside the house is the Google Doc. I have several different Google Docs, as some of you have seen in the last notes review that I have to go through here. Several different sets of Google Docs to sort my way through. I do see the survey results here. There is rich soil on rank 4, good soil on rank 3. So that's a very slight little min-max there. There's no guarantee that we're going to see the greenhouse when we draft through the veranda. But I do think the veranda is the right choice. I also like the fact that it points us up to rank 4. So let's take the veranda, even though it does cost those 2 gems. And there is a metal detector, so we'll take that right off the bat. And we will hope now to get our hands on a shovel. A shovel at some point to deal with all these dig sites. This is where we will turn around and make our way back to the entrance hall. So we'll get those 2 chests. And then we will also... We're going to have so many steps today. So backtracking, weaving back and forth is not going to be that much of an issue. 2 keys is good. And then we also get... Okay, dice and coins is okay. Dice is really good. Coins, we have a lot of them already, but I was hoping to get some more gems. Now we are a little bit in need of gems. This is where courtyards come into play, right? The courtyards. 8 courtyards in our pool. Can I see some courtyards, please? Thank you. Thank you for that. I probably am going to... I don't know if I'm going to draft every single courtyard I see, but it's not too far-fetched to think I might do that, because it is a straight-up gem profit. And there is our shovel. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a shovel. And the only you know, would we ever want to... there is a trunk here as well, which is awesome. These courtyards are going to be so... Oh, a key card, you say? A key card, you say? What? All right, well, now we have our draft completely open to us. Because, oh my god, the courtyards are more likely to have security doors. So I would actually like to have a security room now to be able to turn up the security level. What I was thinking, though, is the workshop. The workshop. Would we ever... I was thinking about making a detector shovel, but that might be overkill. We might not need that with so many dig sites. We really want to get our hands on a jackhammer. That is one of the contraptions we have not made. We don't know exactly how it works or what it's going to be able to interact with. So if we do get our hands on a workshop, I don't necessarily want to combine the shovel with the metal detector. Also, the burning glass. Oh, we don't need burning glass unless we have a trading post. So the burning glass is not super important. But I think what that means, because I'm not making a detector shovel, I am just going to dig up these sites now. We're going to do the dig sites as they come, as opposed to trying to wait. Get some coins and a turnip and a few more coins. Excellent. Let's go ahead then and draft upward. Let's see. Well, actually, I will draft the corner first. Yes? We'll draft the corner first and make sure that we get... Okay. Well, there's our library that actually does draft into a direction of openness, if you will. So I think we take the library as opposed to the vault. I don't really need the coins if I don't have a gold sink. Until I have a showroom, these coins are not worth the trade-off of the 3 gems, I don't think, at the moment. I would much rather have my gems, save those, stockpile them, and I think I'd rather take the library in this spot. Let's take it, and then I will draft. I will draft here in the courtyard if I can get a workshop or another courtyard. That would be fine as well, but just some room. Well, depending on which way the courtyard points. Let's just see what we get. We have 3 redraws as well. This is another option. I could settle for the dining room here to point me into rank 3. That's all I wanted to get. I just wanted to make sure that if I draft from the library and I get like an attic, which I would really want to take, then I have a room that gets me into rank 3 on this side of the house. We still have that veranda door. This is the thing. I could take 2 dead ends if I really, really had to. I could take a laboratory here if I really wanted to. Because I have the veranda door that goes up the east wing, and I have access through the foundation now with a key card. So this draft is still very wide open, even if somehow we didn't make it through rank 2 here. And I did say that I wanted to get my hands on a security room, because if we take a laboratory, we get both our experiments to proc right now, and we would get access to the security room to turn up our security level. The thing is, though, I don't feel like I'm desperate to run experiments. I don't feel like I need to get that going here. The draft is off to a good enough start the way it is resource-wise, and generating additional resources through the laboratory, I don't feel like that's a necessity. And we also have not got the experiment that sent letters to the mailroom. We have not got that offered again. It could be that we have completely exhausted all of the letters that were going to be sent by Randolph. And so any further information gathering, it feels like the laboratory experiments at this point are just for adding value to your draft, resource-wise. And I don't feel desperate for that. I feel like we're in a good spot here to start off. I'm going to go ahead and do a redraw, because I don't really need a dining room. When we have a sleeping mask and shoes, running shoes. So I think I'm just going to use one of my 3 dice here. This could be a little loose, but I kind of want to just get another courtyard, or at least something more exciting than these. It would be a good idea to turn up the security level, but we do have 3 keys already. So I'm going to use a die here. We got 3 of them. Let's go ahead and, and now I immediately regret it. Although I might not immediately regret it, because I think I will settle for a closet. If I'm going to take a dead end here, I think one that replaces the die that I lost is an okay compromise. That's a little unfortunate, though. Where's my courtyards at, man? My courtyard, even if I did get a courtyard here, there is still a shot that it would point not to rank 3. I don't think I'm going to use a second die here, though. Let's go ahead and we'll take the closet. I don't really love it. It's not my favorite. But we do get a key and a gem. And then we will see what we get through the library. But there is a new book to read. We did actually check out The Curse of Black Bridge by Redford Euling. So let's give this a look. We have a magnifying glass as well, if we need it, but we'll stash that over there for now. The foreword. The legend of Black Bridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and, as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. What? Is this like a, well, The Curse of the Black Bridge, I guess it's a bit ominous. So, all right. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet, the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Black Bridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. This is really interesting. I have no idea where this is going. I don't know how this is possibly related to our story so far, which is a fascinating, it looks like my screenshot sound effects are actually on. Let me go ahead and make that change real quick so you guys are not hearing the sound effects from my screenshots. I'll make the change here. So Steam is going to my headphones, and we'll make that little change here. So we have only me that's hearing those annoying little clicks, which are not really that annoying, but it's my little perfectionist tendencies. Want to make sure about that. We have part 1, the berry picker from Oris. The berry picker, huh? That's one of our shrine buffs. Is this related to shrine buffs somehow? Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst, in a time where society was at its worst. And for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. Goddamn. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. My God, this poor boy. It's not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take an easy road out, an easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jasper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Black Bridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. I'm really liking this so far. This is an enticing read. I want to know more already. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Black Bridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthest most berry patches without worry of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way, Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost in this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. It's just funny thinking about, like, you know, for most people, it's like, oh, these are just berries sitting here. If you've been living off weeds and, eating out of the gutter, you're going to be toppled over with joy to come upon such a sight, aren't you? He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket, and was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. A carriage is approaching. The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept toward the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment more before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. Gotta love somebody flaunting their sophisticated regalia. It was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effect that the noble steeds slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You, boy, get out from behind that bush," he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death, coming round the bend of my own drive and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries." Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had seen many times the same stern expression or expressions on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. "Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know. And what luck I found them. I've only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me 4-fold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where is your home, boy? It must be quite far." Jesper replied with a scripted response. "A little south of Tanner Fork." "Oh, Tanner Fork." Okay, all of a sudden my mind is remembering Something from a new clue. We had one of the the bits of artwork in a new clue had that Tanner Fork sign. Might have to look at my notes here to see exactly what was going on there. He replied with a scripted response, a little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods. My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning. It was true. Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled. And while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Black Bridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. Sir, I've traveled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them yourself? Jesper felt happier with this response, as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. In my youth, often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far. And even then, my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jesper's time to smile. Then let my efforts reward us both today. He raised the basket even higher. A taste in memory of your youth, sir. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger, in turn, met his throat. Oh, shit. I didn't quite see that one coming, but maybe I should have. This dude is part of the Black Bridge Bandits. Is that what they're called? No, the Unholy Hounds. Black Bridge Bandits. Well, it's very, what's the word when the words all start with the same letter? Anyway, I'm getting distracted from a horrifying twist here in the story. The dagger, in turn, met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. Okay. Okay, he is not... I thought for a second he just straight up stabbed him in the neck. He's holding the knife at his neck and holding him in hopes of getting his goods, his gold. Give me your gold, my dude. The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at that particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause, though I will admit the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing toward the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession I assure you of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on this man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped. Oh, wait. The driver was asking this. I thought Jesper was saying this for a second. Let me read this again. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it. Secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside, the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat, a large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, two observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all four sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Orindian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Okay, this is starting to get a little interesting. I'd love to see. We are going to maybe see some totemic symbols here. I want to take just a moment and look at this with the magnifying glass just to see what might. Maybe it's not as important as I thought it might be. I thought maybe we might be getting some juicy sigil-related information here, but I think we're probably still gonna have to wait for Realm and Rune for that. But who knows? We have not finished reading yet. Let's keep the story going. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not open easily without a key. Jesper, I was thinking this might be one of the same chests that we've seen at the bottom of the reservoir as well as in the treasure trove, but not so much. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me with to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed, given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. You are cursed, boy, for deadly is that stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed. Oh, what a great little twist we've got here. I love it. Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. What is it? That's one. That's one? Oh, okay, yeah. Feeling his disappointment rising to... I'm just as confused as Jesper, apparently. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. One what, you mumbling agentor? Wait, what the heck? Is this our first italics? I'm seeing the word here in italics, and I don't know what agentor is. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to be careful here whether it looks up, if it points me to something blueprints related, yeah, okay. I don't think it's a real word. The first result that showed up there was the Curse of the Black Bridge. And so I quickly went away from that page, not looking at anything else, because I don't think this is a real word. This is potentially one of our made-up language words. What does it mean? We got to do some decoding there. But there's also it's in italics, and we've got an italics word over here, might. Have there been other italics words? There was one here, deadly. Okay, at some point we're gonna go through and we're going to pick up all the italics words. We're gonna make note of those. Let's keep reading for now, though. You mumbling agentor, and in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person? Jesper's getting frustrated. The man did not seem intimidated. 1 pace. He paused for effect. 12 more, and you will be dead. Oh, shit. What? He can only take 12 more steps? He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he was now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more, given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries, and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces, and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. And, if by some stroke of luck the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him, as if he had found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. That's what I thought of immediately. I was like, well, dude, don't you have is there not a carriage here right beside you? Unless you're more than 12 steps away from it. You've got a carriage, my dude, which apparently is going to be your new home, if you are to believe the curse. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4. Perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great a chance. And so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins, and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let go. The internal conflict that is happening with each of these decision points is so juicy, frankly. It's making the story so interesting. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud, to the horses, seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Wow. Okay, that was only part 1. I am going to do a little bit of skimming here to see just how much more we have of this book, because it does look like this story goes on for quite a while. So why don't we go ahead and we'll put a bookmark in this here, and we're just gonna look back through part 1, take a closer look at some of these illustrations, just for any details that could stand out under magnifying glass scrutiny. So far, I have not seen anything like that. What a fun story, though. I really, really want to see how this is going to conclude, but I also do want to keep the draft going as well. So let's do that. Let's continue the draft for now, and we will resume part 2 later on. I have gone ahead and just taken screenshots of all the pages of the rest of the book, just in the off chance that somehow we don't make it back to the library, which I find hard to believe with running shoes and a sleeping mask and all that stuff. We should be able to make it back here eventually today, so we'll look to do that. Was that a trunk over there? No, I thought I saw a trunk for a second, but we'll quickly check our records for any new information that as like we always do here. Up to 6 red letters now. Feels good. We need to start... I really want to... I would love to see a bookshop here out of the library. That's what I would love to see, because that would get us our final book in the library. I want to do that. Oh, the conservatory is now my favorite. I love it. It is maybe actually my favorite. I don't know. I haven't thought about what my favorite floor plan is, but the conservatory would sure be up there. I love being able to play with the RNG gods. And our highest rank, our highest grade is now grade 4. We can do better, though. And we will do better when we get our hands on another schoolhouse. Or at least we'll try. Let's see, though, what we have out of the library. Oh, I saw the yellow. I saw the yellow there, and I thought, oh, it's a bookshop. Instead, they're giving us a gallery. Oh, boy. I mean, a gallery is 2 gems, and it gets us into rank 3. So I think I will take it here. But also, I don't know that I'm going to be spending any brain energy on trying to solve the gallery puzzles at all. We'll have to see how things go. But I think this is a fairly easy gallery. I don't really want a ballroom, and I don't really want to redraw. I mean, I guess the casino is a gold sink, right? You could take it as a gold sink, but that would completely dead end our draft on this West Wing side. I like taking the gallery here because who knows, we might take another shot at the pieces of art. We were just completely flummoxed still by the infinity symbol and the sin bin pins with the fins and the skin on the floor, and like there's rhyming. There's a whole bunch of rhyming going on here, but I don't know what to make of it. And I still don't know what to make of the duplicated red items. It all doesn't make sense to me, man. It don't make any sense. And I don't feel like I'm in the mood yet to try to... I want to keep the draft going, is what I want to do. I want to get more courtyards. That's a coat check. I do like the idea of a lucky rabbit's foot, but I don't think we need it today. When we've already got a veranda, we sort of have done the lucky rabbit's foot thing with all of our courtyards. And we just want to get as many courtyards as we can because we just get more dig sites and we get more gems and more security doors maybe as well. And life is good, right? I think we just take advantage of the courtyard buff today. We don't try to do... I don't want to dead end my draft either in this direction. Let's do courtyard. Don't even have to think about it that hard. And we just keep things going. The metal detector is going off. I guess there are some... Does it react to the trunk? The fact that there's stuff inside the trunk. No, there's just gems in the trunk. What is the metal... Does the metal detector actually react to the trunk? I don't remember it ever... Oh, here's a coin. I was going to say, it's never reacted to the freaking trunks before, even though it would make sense, but that's not how this game works. I think they did do a recent patch with the game. I did briefly skim those patch notes just to see if they had added... I wanted to see... Wait a second! Yo, what the fuck? We dug up a torn and discarded scrap of paper. Better write this down. What? Now, I think we know. This is telling us about a jackhammer, right? This is how you make a jackhammer, is it not? So we know that this is on our to-do list. It's not really super useful to us, but the idea that we can dig up just random scraps of paper that have like workshop ideas and other hints on them. That is... this game just never ceases to surprise... Oh, it allows me to... I'm surprised it doesn't let me bring up the magnifying glass here. Why does it say, and maybe broken lever, question mark? Shovel and battery pack and maybe broken lever? And it says workshop idea. I wonder who this was written by. This handwriting we might be able to compare to some other notes and figure out who wrote this. That is something else, man. What? The surprises and discoveries that you have when you're playing Blueprints. I have missed it. I'm glad to be playing once again today. What was I in the middle of saying? I was talking about the patch notes, and I was skimming through to see if they had added some sort of like save feature so that you could pause and quit the game in the middle of a draft. Doesn't look like they've done that. They, I think, added a whole bunch of like hot fixes. Fixes for bugs and various things like that. So, but I didn't look too closely at any of the patch notes because I didn't want to get any of those spoilerinos, you know? Okay, do I ever just take a chapel here so that I can keep going through rank 3? Or do we just keep the ball rolling with courtyards upon courtyards upon courtyards? The problem is this courtyard doesn't point to rank 3. So it's a little bit on the annoying side. But is that worth the sacrifice of taking a chapel and paying a little bit more to the tithe? I guess the chapel always acts as a gold sink if you really need to. So having the chapel, now that we know there's a piggy bank, that losing a coin is really only a temporary loss because one day eventually you could cash everything in. Cash in that piggy bank, break it open, and I'm kind of leaning in that direction. Just make sure that I keep shooting across rank 3. I think I like that, actually. Let's fill out our base here a little bit more cleanly. It's just a little weird picking the chapel. It's not on theme with the draft at all. But apparently we're getting some we get some coins just laying around because we have a metal detector. So there we go, man. We already recouped our tithe. There are dig sites in the chapel because we have a root cellar, of course. Of course. The root cellar can do things. So we get a turnip. We're going to have so many freaking steps. We are going to be... If only we could bank our steps in some way. I guess we could if you decide to... I don't know, some laundry room shenanigans could let you bank some steps. Theoretically. Let's keep going through the chapel. All right, a hallway here for a key. We should do pretty well on keys today. Locked doors with a key card and 4 keys already shouldn't be too much trouble. So I could like settle for the spare bedroom here. The spare bedroom probably has a chance to have like a dig site because of the root cellar. But the hallway giving us the guaranteed key. It's just we know that the spare bedroom also gets us a good chance at items. And it would proc the sleeping mask, which does remind me we have the Geist bedroom. When we, if we ever go back through the entrance hall, we can get some extra steps there, which I forgot to get. I'll settle, though, for the hallway. I like, 4 keys is good, but 5 keys is better, right? Let's take it. Let's take the guaranteed key. You never know, there could be a dig site in the hallway as well, maybe. I think we've seen dig sites before in certain hallway rooms. Let's see what we get through here. The metal detector is still going off, so there was something else here that I didn't pick up. This is interesting. A parlor versus a pool. I think we just take the pool, actually, because there's swim trunks, and we have a sledgehammer, right? That's got to be better than taking a parlor. It would add a locker room, sauna, and pump room to the draft pool. We're not really desperate for any of those rooms. So it could, taking the pool could get you those resources, but it could also dilute the draft pool when we're trying to draft as many green rooms as we can. So for that reason, I think I will actually just take the parlor. We don't get to open the swim trunks, but, you know, the swim trunks could have coins in them, which we're not really desperate for. And just getting the guaranteed 3 gems here and not having to spend a gem for it feels pretty nice. There could be keys in the swim trunks, but we have 5 keys. I think we're doing okay. Let's take the parlor. It happens to angle in the right direction. And let's also take another look here, because apparently my metal detector... There was something that I was... Another key on the floor. We got 2 keys out of the hallway. That's awesome. So, oh, and I see a coin purse over here in the parlor. So I think we just go ahead and we play the parlor game, and we keep drafting from there. And we've got other ways to... Other doors to go back to eventually, if need be. Oh, there is just a key here on the ground. Man, okay. Now I'm feeling great about my decision. We got pretty fortunate with the metal detector. So that feels awesome. Coin purse is going to make our gold stash. We really need a showroom. We need ways to spend our gold. Will we find them? Okay, playing the parlor game. The gems are in the black box. Could be true, could be false. There's no statement on the white box. All right. The gems are in a box with a statement. The gems are in a box with a statement. So I think that, let's see here. Well, I think that this means that the gems have to be in... I think the gems have to be in the blue box because we have to have one true statement and we have to have one false statement. If the gems are in the black box, if this statement is true, then that also makes this statement true. The black box has a statement. So that's a contradiction. If this so that means that this has to be false, doesn't it? The gems are in the black box. And then that also means that this would have to be true. The gems are in a box with a statement, so they have to be in the blue box. Feel pretty good about that one. Let's go. Logic skills have, even though it's been a while since I played the parlor game, fortunately the logic skills have not deteriorated. Let's just draft from the parlor. Okay, that's our workshop. I was hoping to get my hands on one of them at some point here. We have so many things to be able to, well, maybe not as many as I thought. We're still, I want to make a jackhammer. And that's what we dug up. We dug up the little clue to try to make a jackhammer. The game is really saying like, man, you need to make that jackhammer, fool. Get yourself a battery and get yourself a broken lever. Well, the workshop is probably the best way to get our hands on one of those items. And of course, we would need it anyways to do the combination at all. So let's check and see what we've got here. We do get a battery. Yay. So that's great. We now just need a broken lever, which could be in a number of spots. So I don't want to make a detector shovel. I don't think we need that. Is there anything else that I even could make? Magnifying glass. We could make the burning glass, right? But I don't need that. I don't want to consume either my magnifying glass or my metal detector. So we don't make anything here. We hope to make a jackhammer when we get a broken lever. So now I guess we just keep on drafting, huh? I might as well just keep on drafting here until we run into like a locked door or we might have to make a decision. Okay. We have 2 dice, which I don't think I have to use here. I can probably just take a... The drawing room is kind of interesting now because it does refund us a gem. So that gem cost is offset. Is that better than just taking a den? It's probably better to just take a den. Because I've always said the drawing room, you know, re-rolling in the drawing room is very... I have always found it very overrated. So the den is probably just the better pick here if we're taking not a storeroom. The storeroom has a chance to have a broken lever. That's a thing. And we have so many steps. Doubling back, we have the foundation, we have the courtyard, and we have the veranda. This could just be a storeroom and just get even more resources, plus a chance at a broken lever. Plus there would be probably dig sites in the storeroom when you have the root cellar. With that being said, I feel like the chances of getting a broken lever are still pretty slim. We've only seen it, I think, 1 time, if maybe 2 at most. I think I would rather take one of the other rooms. And I have 13 gems already. We might as well just go ahead and sort of like cash one of those in to give us some extra dice. Even though I think that the redraw thing at the drawing room is overrated, we might as well take it here as opposed to like our 14th gem from the den. Even though the den could have a trunk, that is a possibility there. But I think I will settle for the drawing room. Let's take that here. And we will continue to draft in this direction. We'll take our gem, and now I guess we can, you know, we could see if there's a terrace. We could get a terrace here, or a greenhouse. Let's see what's on the east wing. Let's see what we get offered here. A classroom, and it's pointed in. I don't know if it's pointed in the right direction, quote unquote. These are not very thrilling choices, if I'm being honest. We might just use a redraw here. Like the classroom, what would it do for me? I guess it would get me an apple, which is extra delicious. Otherwise, I suppose, I really want to get my hands on a security room at some point to do an inventory check, because I feel like the classroom was on my list of rooms that could have a not a security, an upgrade disc. I had a list that I had narrowed down. We still have a mysterious upgrade disc out there that was in the house one day that I didn't find. And I think that classroom was one of those possibilities. So I could take that here in hopes that I get a security inventory check at some point. But it doesn't, I really don't want to take it just for that. I'm going to go ahead and redraw here. I just want to get something better than this. This is a perfect spot to utilize that ability. I think we take a courtyard. We'll settle for the courtyard here as opposed to the East Wing Hall. Yeah. Get myself some more doors going up the East Wing. Let's do it. And another courtyard, because we're taking advantage of the fact that the veranda gives us so much shit in these courtyards, and it's root cellar day. It just makes too much sense, right? Dude, we have so many keys. There is not going to be a locked door standing in our way. Never a locked door will we worry about on this day. It feels like a lot of our drafts have been ending up like this, where I guess the last draft was one of the only exceptions to that. The day 29 draft that felt like we just got the most unlucky that we've been in a long time on not getting doors to open up in the right direction. We needed a security key card, and all our problems would have been solved. That's all we needed. Ooh, okay. There's a clock tower. I could take a dead end here. I don't need to connect back to the veranda. Everything has been bought in the commissary. So I think we just take the clock tower, and we get to start tomorrow with some keys. We only have the one tomorrow room at the moment. Is that better still than the pool? The pool has swim trunks. So I definitely don't want the bedroom. And I'm not using a redraw. So it's down to the pool versus the clock tower. Do I want to continue to stockpile these resources, which I'm just so good on resources today? That's why my instinct is to take the tomorrow room and start forwarding a bit of those resources. Now, with so many keys, you could make the argument that, hey, maybe you want to take the locker, maybe you want to take the pool so that you can get your hands on a locker room. Because didn't we find a broken lever in the locker room at one point? We're really trying to get a broken lever. Let me search my floor plans document for broken lever. I see it here in the storeroom where it appeared once. We also, yeah, we did get it to appear on day 3. It showed up in the locker room. But I don't think it showed up as, it didn't show up as one of the rewards behind, that was actually in a locker. It was just sitting there on the bench, I think. I think I talked myself into it. I'm not going to worry about the clock tower just yet. It's, like, it could have, like, that silver stopwatch, but that's not my favorite item anyways, making me rush through my decisions. Did we have a broken lever in the clock tower? I don't think we did. And I feel like maybe the pool is just, like, it could have its own... I don't know if we've ever seen a broken lever in the pool. We've seen running shoes there. The pool gets us immediate resources, but we're not really starved for resources. I don't know. I feel like I'm still kind of torn on this decision. Okay, I talked myself back the other way. I'm going to take the clock tower. Just for the reasoning that I had before. We have so many resources now, and we don't have access to a freezer, which is also important. So, like, I don't want to get a pool that stacks even more resources here that we may not end up using. Gems are always good, but there's no guarantee that the pool gives us those gems from the trunks. It could get us dice, which wouldn't be bad. And maybe I should consider that. The fact that there could be dice in those swim trunks. Even with that said, I'm still going to take the clock tower. I'm just going to go with what we've got in the clock tower. or go with the, ooh, looks like there is an item here, or there were coins or a key on the floor. There was a coin over here. There we go. So metal detector doing its thing. But we're just gonna roll with the clock tower and start to bank a little bit of resources for tomorrow. Okay, there are coins here. No silver stopwatch. We've got a rune, or the part, something that goes along with a sigil is what it feels like. We eventually, when we get our hands on Realm and Rune, things will hopefully make more sense. Oh, I guess we have a rook now for our chess puzzle, if that materializes. In order to really consider the chess game as a possibility, we really need either an office or the study or the ladyship's chamber. Once we have a king or a queen on the board, then we can start to really seriously consider getting the chess game completed. Well, there's a study. I think we slam dunked that study here, because now we have a way to spend these gems. This is our gem sink. This is it, right? We take the study. It gets us a gem as well. Feels like a pretty easy study here. We don't get to keep going up the east wing, but this is a rare enough room, and it's one key piece toward being able to complete the chess puzzle. So I'll gladly take the study here. It's also just very useful for our draft. Good, good, good. There's even an additional gem on the desk. What do you know? Beautiful. I don't think there is any additional information in the study that we are overlooking. These unused pairings, I feel like they are just that. I don't think those are useful to me at all. And I don't think there is anything in the study that helps us decode the cryptic language. I don't know what the language is called, but this, maybe we'll call it Blueprintian. It's the Blueprintian language. Okay, let's draft the other way from the drawing room. Now that we have so many rerolls. So many rerolls at our disposal. That's a showroom. Perfect! That's what I was hoping for, right? And we still have plenty of ways to draft through the foundation and through the courtyard. This is perfect. Gold sink. That's what we want. Let's see what is on sale here in the showroom. Because now we can actually maybe consider... Ooh, the emerald bracelet might be worth jumping for here. The master key... We never need this master key. Every time that it's even if we're even close to considering it, it's like, oh, I've already got like a dozen keys and a key card. The chronograph has been very useful, but also there is an ornate compass. It's an ornate compass, guys. We can't pass this, can we? The only little bugaboo, I guess, with the ornate compass is that you can only do the rotation for the first 3 floor plans you draw. So if we do start re-rolling with dice and study gems, we don't get the use out of this. So is the ornate compass better than the bracelet? The bracelet would give us full usage of our gems toward the study. That would be a good one. I think it's between those two. It's either the emerald bracelet or it's the ornate compass. And maybe we get to pick up the chronograph later as we continue to dig up coins. I think the ornate compass might be the more powerful item in general, but we haven't got to play with the emerald bracelet yet, have we? We haven't had the opportunity to actually use this. So I think just because we have a study already, and I want to be able to reroll as much as possible for something like the office, now that we have a study, we want to get our hands on the office so we can do the chess game. I want to be able to reroll as much as I can, not necessarily rotate my floor plans in the exact perfect direction and try to fill out the 45 room trophy, which we've already done. So we're going to take the emerald bracelet here. That's what we're going to do because it's new. We don't have to pay gem cost for floor plans anymore. Bring on the cloister. Bring on the vault. Would actually be pretty useful now. I would be happy to pick up a vault at this point because it would be, you know, it's a vault and it would get us an ornate compass. And you don't have to pay any gems for it. It's like a no-brainer. I'm gonna head back this way to draft through the courtyard over on the west wing because I would like to get a door. Well, I'd like to get a courtyard here that would get me up the east wing, sorry, up the west wing and to the rest of rank 4. But one way or the other, I'd like to get a room that points me to the east. Oh, for a second I thought my screen was glitched out. This is the emerald bracelet here has just, I guess, crossed out the gem cost on the garage. The garage is free. The problem is it's the garage and it doesn't point us in the right direction. So, reading nook, you say, huh? The problem with the reading nook is that we would not want to take the library. We would not want to take the library from the reading nook here because it would dead end us. And we really don't, until we get our hands on Realm and Rune, the library isn't super useful if you can't actually draft out of it. We don't have to take the library from the reading nook, but it would limit our options. We would only have the 2 options to consider from the reading nook. So is this just a redraw? I think maybe it's just a redraw because I would kind of just rather have a courtyard. And when we don't have to pay gem costs, I don't have to worry about spending my gems for redraws. I'll use the dice here first, of course. Because actually, I think, I don't know why I had seen myself in a previous draft saving a die instead of using that before rolling with gems. And I don't know why I had convinced myself that that was the better idea, but I feel like it's always strictly better because there's literally no way to carry over gems or to spend them on anything but redraws. So you should always use these first before gems, shouldn't you? Question mark. Don't answer that, of course, because maybe there is some way to piggy bank your dice. I'm gonna redraw here. I have 8 keys. I don't need the key from the nook. And I don't need the rook from the nook because I have the rook in the clock tower. Redraw. West Wing Hall. Or I take the 4 coins with the pantry because I still have the door from the foundation. The pantry also gets me an apple. Well, it doesn't guarantee get me an apple, but it could get me a farmer's apple, a juicier, more delicious apple. I think the pantry is correct here because I actually do want some more coins to buy some more stuff in the showroom. And I don't need the door from the West Wing Hall to get up to rank 5. So let's take the pantry. I think I settle for the pantry here and save my redraws. Let's do it. And we do get a banana, which is still good. It's just not 5 steps, but that's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to quibble. There's nothing hidden in the pantry, is there? No secret switches or anything in the pantry. I don't think so. But you never know. We might be getting to that point. I might at some point ask you all for some nudges. Since we are 30 days into the game now. It might be time. We might be approaching that time when I say to the audience, hey, any rooms that I need to really think about checking out again? Any rooms that I need to give another look at that I have sort of counted off and put to the back of my mind? I'm not asking for that yet, but we might do it soon. I think this is a redraw just because I'm greedy. I want to get to that last door in rank 5, rank 4. And I don't need to settle for any of these rooms. So, and we have so many redraws today. So let's redraw. Okay. I'm still not getting through to that room with either of these, but this is a break room. A break room is always nice to have because it gets you that key card to start the next day, and it counts toward our clock tower as well. But we also have the observatory, which could just get us a whole bunch more gems and whatnot. But we're also shooting for rooms like the office, you know? If I had to end up taking an office here, I would definitely take that and lose out on that last room in the middle of the house. I just don't know that I need to settle for a break room when I already have 7 keys and a key card, even though it gets me the key card tomorrow. I'm going to redraw. I got plenty more redraws, and I think we can do better than this. I think we can do better. All right. My security room, if only it were pointing in the way that I want it. I'm not that desperate for the security room to want. I want to do an inventory check, but I'm not that desperate for it. So it's either the dining room or the spare bedroom. We're still on 50 steps here with a sleeping mask and running shoes. I think I just take the spare bedroom, get myself a chance at an item and a dig spot and a proc for my sleeping mask. And it gets me that other room in the middle of the house. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. Sleeping mask, go. Dig site, yes. Old tin can, awesome. Always what I was hoping for. One day, we'll get around to painting the rest of this room. It's a work in progress. We'll get there eventually. Kappa. Bunk room, huh? Yo! Yo! We did it! If I'm counting correctly here, hallway, secret passage. No aquariums. We have exactly 2 hallways. Yo, we finally get to do the thing with the bunk room. And I think I do that thing. I think I do that thing, right? I think I do that thing. It's, yeah, it is kind of overkill, isn't it? It's actually kind of overkill, but it would, you know, we would definitely be able to open every single doorway the rest of the day. I'm sort of just completely overlooking this foyer, even though it does a similar, has a similar effect of unlocking all the hallway doors. But I kind of want to do the bunk room thing. The bunk room could get us more gems. But if nothing else, I just want to say that one time, one time out of all these days on the estate, I was able to get this to proc, doubling my keys. I'm probably not going to use anywhere close to all 14 of these keys, but we're going to get to say that we doubled our pleasure and doubled our fun with the frickin' bunk room. Let's go. That, I have a feeling, is not the super... Oh, we got coins. All right. We have a showroom. Coins are not bad. We have a coin purse. Coins are not bad. I ultimately... Oh, and there's the metal detector going off. There's more coins over here. Yes. Let's go. 2 pawns here. Right, yeah. There's 2 pawns. Ultimately, that is probably not the optimal pick. If we're trying to get stuff like the office, we're probably supposed to reroll there for something better. But that's such a good thing. It's the freaking bunk room. It's just... It makes me happy, you know? And video games... Their primary purpose is to make you happy. I almost didn't pick up the 2 gems here in this courtyard. I almost left these 2 gems over here for dead because I'm so convinced that I'm not going to be poor for gems today. And I think that's probably true. That is probably the case. We've dug up both dig sites here in the chapel. There's not an additional one that I missed over behind the pews, I don't think. So, an additional contribution to our piggy bank. And ultimately, the purpose of video games is to have fun and to allow you to have good feelings. Really? I mean, really, that's what they're there for. So, screw the optimal choice. Who cares about what the min-max decision is? You get to double your keys for once. 14 coins, 14 gems. Lucky numbers 14. Which is being immediately, that luck is being immediately counteracted by the lack of stuff in the dig sites here in the foundation. Okay. All right. We're filling out our house pretty nicely here, actually. We are still on track. The 45 room dream is not dead on day 30, or whatever that's worth. Solarium. The office is standard, right? if we're really wanting to get the office to try to do the chess game, the solarium makes that less likely to happen, doesn't it? But the solarium is a green room, and it would get us more items and more dig sites. And there would be a lot of rooms that are unusual or rare that would be nice to get our hands on? Question mark? It would make the attic more common. We do want to get back to the attic. But the office is only standard, so that would make it less likely to show up. The drafting studio is rare. We'd love to get our hands on another drafting studio. Now, I do need to be a little bit careful here, because yes, I have so many redraws, and that's, you know, having so many redraws probably means we don't have to be too careful here, but we are down to just the foundation as the way to the rest of the house. So just something to be aware of. Is that a good enough reason to take the pool for the extra door and the swim trunks on the west wing? Could the solarium have a broken lever? Is that a possibility? What do I take here? I might just redraw because I'm not thrilled with these, if I'm being honest. I love how the emerald bracelet does actually show up in color. None of our items are ever like that, are they? Have we had any... Does the ornate compass show up in color? I don't remember, but I love how the emerald bracelet here gets its a unique appearance. I'm gonna do a redraw here. I just don't really want to get any of these. So this is why we have redraws. This is why we have it. Ooh. Oh, look at that, guys. A terrace. Your green rooms aren't gonna cost gems to draft. Pog. I mean, I think I'll just settle for a courtyard here. I guess I will settle for the courtyard, because I feel like if there is going to be a broken lever somewhere, it's just as likely to show up in a courtyard. Ah, I have to remember, though, the garage is interesting. It's interesting because you do have the car trunk, except we don't have any car keys, so never mind that plan. The garage is a pretty good way... Well, am I right about this? I was thinking it was a good way to get the broken lever, but has it shown up in the car trunk? Or has it just been a battery? I think the car trunk so far has not given us, based on my notes, I've not noted a broken lever from the garage, from the car trunk. I'm just going to take a courtyard here. We don't need the keys. We just take a courtyard. And I don't... Like, I could... At some point, I want to keep redrawing to try to get an office, but it's probably better to do that when I've taken some of these courtyards out of my pool. Probably a better thing to do. I'm so glad we have a sledgehammer, by the way. This is turning out to be really awesome, although I don't need this many keys. Holy shit. I don't really need this many gems either, but I'd much rather have gems than keys. But, you know, you don't get to... Oh my god. 18 keys, guys. What the junk. 18 keys, and we're up to 30 coins now. We could go back and buy a chronograph. Yo! Oh my god. This is our other item. Lucky Rabbit's Foot and coin purse. Oh my god. I don't think we had figured this out yet. I'm pretty sure we had not figured this out. We knew that the coin purse could be used with something, but that's about all we know from the drafting strategy book. One of those drafting strategy books. Oh my god! Lucky Rabbit's Foot and coin purse. We've gotten 2 of these scraps of paper today. The game is really trying to say, make some contraptions, you dingus! Okay. I don't know if I make that today. It just depends on what that is, right? I guess if we get we'll see if we get offered a coat check. It might be a good room to take because we have a clock tower. But also, it would let us make another contraption. Something tells me that the rabbit's foot combined with the coin purse would not be like the power hammer, which opened up completely new paths of exploration. It feels like the Lucky Rabbit's Foot plus the coin purse is going to be something like, oh, get a whole bunch more coins and items when you're going around, similar to the the detector shovel. So I don't think it would necessarily, my guess is that it wouldn't give us any new progress, but who knows? Who knows? We'll have to see when the game actually offers us that opportunity. I am definitely going to re-roll here because I don't want to point, I want a room that, a courtyard at the very least, to point upwards along the west wing. I don't want to point to my last room that I'm drafting out of the foundations. So we will take a redraw here. And there's my courtyard. I think I take it. Yep, courtyard. What are we up to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 courtyards have been drafted. Yet another trunk. Because, of course, dice is great. Sure. And more coins is great. And more gems is great. These courtyards are really, really paying off. We just need to get our hands on rooms that we really want. So it might, we're getting closer to that point in the draft where I should just start being more liberal with my gem expenditure, expending gems on rerolls. Okay, dig sites taken care of. Let's keep going. Where do we draft from, actually? I'm going to draft up. We're going to draft up northward along the west wing. I don't have any particular reason why, but we're going to keep doing that. And none of these are super exciting. The corridor is just so not needed as far as its effect on a day when you have 17 keys. And the same goes for the reading nook. The reading nook does get us the library, which potentially gets us a bookshop or an attic. But it just kind of, it does start to make the rooms would be kind of in an awkward position. I don't think I want to take the nook just yet. So here is a perfect place, I think, for a redraw. Do I settle for a corridor here? It's just not exciting enough. Let's redraw. We have so many redraws. Let's get something better. The West Wing Hall, maybe that is one that I settle for because it gives me a door in both directions. The boudoir does get me 2 more dice, as well as a gem. Locksmith, LOL. I'll take the West Wing Hall here. I will take it because it does have the 2 doors instead of 1, and it has a dig site. So, we'll just keep on going. Let's just keep going up the West Wing. Since keys are not a concern, no worries about drafting up into rank 9. And if anything, I want the rarer rooms in the pool? Question mark? Except they could start crowding out. Oh my god. Oh my god. You talk about value from a trophy room. Okay. We'll have to angle things. We'll have to be a little bit more... Well, if we have a free 8 gems that we're getting, it's going to be a lot easier to spend rerolls on making sure we get up to rank 9 there. I think it's a pretty easy trophy room, isn't it? We're so good on steps still. Are we ever going to run out of steps today? I could probably be as careless as I wanted with steps. I think I'd take the trophy room here, man. That is so many redraws. That's just... It's too good to pass up. A free trophy room, man. Are you kidding? Are you flipping kidding? That is the most OP... Now I get why you have a 5-gem trophy room, because man, if you get your hands on an emerald bracelet, baby, you are cooking. Okay, let's keep drafting. I'm hoping to angle upwards to the left. Okay, an observatory would do that. So I think I will take that, right? Just make sure I get up into rank 9. Don't want to miss my shot at a conservatory if I can help it. So the observatory it is. And I think I'm still glad that I did not take the Southern Cross. Is this a Draxus the Dead? Is that Draxus the Dead? We can take the Farmer's Apple here because we know that stacks. We also have the Diamondus Minor. Is that what this one is? It's not the Southern Cross, I don't think. Yeah, that's Diamondus Minor. And then you have the Slice. And then I think we have Draxus the Dead here, right? So now this is another decision point. Do I want Draxus the Dead? I've already got my hands on a study. And taking Draxus the Dead would just continue to crowd out my chance at getting an office. I've started to fixate maybe a little bit too much on the office, but what do... Is that... That's good though, right? Because what other rooms are we really aiming for if not that? The conservatory, we definitely want to get our hands on if we can help it, but that's only in corners. And it's not a dead end. The conservatory would also be crowded out by picking up Draxus the Dead. I don't think I actually have to think about this that hard. Like, Draxus the Dead is something we want on a day. We most want it on a day when we are trying to do the 20 dead end trophy or sweepstakes prize. It is a trophy, right? Getting the sweepstakes, winning those. Winning them sweepstakes do be a prize. So, so that's what we want. Do I just want a casino here? It guarantees that I get up into the corner to draft a conservatory, and it does give me another potential gold sink. I think I might do that, and then I would spend a good portion of my redraws in the corner to try to get either an office or a conservatory. That seems okay? And we're going to have plenty of steps to be able to come back here depending on how our coin situation ends up. We get also 15 more coins from the casino, which is actually going to be 20 coins because of the coin purse. So I think that's actually a fairly easy casino. Let's take it. Get all these in our pockets. Give me the coins in my pockets. And broken lever. Broken lever ever appear in a casino? Next to... Wait, there's more metal detector stuff. There was just a random coin here on the floor. Cool. I want a broken lever, but not to play this slot machine. I want to make a jackhammer. Okay, show me the corner. Show it to me, please. Oh, there's one of the rooms. Could have a broken lever as well. Oh, we got an attic. We're taking an attic. All right, an attic has arrived, folks. So now I need to be more observant than I have been before, apparently. Because I have missed something here. What I'm first looking for, though, is do I have a broken lever? It looks like I don't. I have a compass. And I have a lockpick kit. Oh man, a lockpick kit. We are so set. Oh my god. Oh shit. Oh my god. There's a treasure map. There's a treasure map. Where this be? Rank 8, which we already have access to that room. That's the observatory, right? Okay, there's a place to dig in the observatory. Cool, cool, cool. Let's pick up all the items first. And we'll get the metal detector to stop. No, there is a... It's right here in front of me. Oh, why is... I don't even know if it's tunnel vision. But it's so... I just marvel at how many times that my... Like, the brain is just not a perfect input-output device. That's all there is to it. So your eyes might be pointed in the direction of the item that you are so anxious to get your hands on, and you might still completely overlook it. Because all I saw here was key and gem. When I first parsed this, when I first was like going here, I was like, oh, key and gem. And my mind immediately turned its attention over here for what else there was in the wagon. We have a broken lever, folks. We can make a jackhammer. This metal detector is still going off because there's also a compass. I want the compass, don't I? Maybe I want the compass. There's a bit of an issue with the compass, though, because I kind of want to be able to go across. I want to be able to go across and fill up. I'm not going to pick up the compass yet. I'm not going to do that just yet. We're going to hold off on the compass for just the moment, especially when we have so many steps. I can come back at any time to the attic to pick up the compass. What I need to do next is I need to pay a little more attention. We're going to try and examine a little more closely the rest of the attic to see what I potentially have overlooked. Is there something to interact with that I have not seen before? We've seen this letter. We've looked at the letter many times. But there is apparently still something else that is well hidden. I almost want to pick up the compass, though, just because the metal detector won't stop beeping until I pick up the compass. Can I interact with this swan? No. Can I... Got the chief back over here looking at us. Can I interact with this coat rack? One of the coat rack hinges or whatever is actually a secret switch. I can walk back over here. Can I interact? Oh, wow. Wow, I see it now. That's tricky because this, you know, maybe I should have poked all the corners, but I feel like the way that this luggage is arranged is done in a way where I guess I didn't try to walk in this direction. I'm not sure what I did, but I know that my mind had definitely chalked up this as, oh, these suitcases are in the way. Nothing to see here. There is something, oh my god, there is something more indeed. Okay. We have the security monitors. And there's a circle, or there's an O. There's an O on one of them. Screenshot. I'm going to look at my notes, because I think this... We had a similar note that was out in... Trying to remember where it was. It was in the safe house, correct? Go to my notes on the safe house. Yeah. We had a note with this same diagram of monitors, except there was an A in this monitor that showed the archives. I'm curious now what monitor this is. Is it the office? O for office? Do I have, if I go to my security room notes, looking at my security room notes, I really should have a screenshot of these monitors. Now that this is the second note, we should take a screenshot of those monitors so that I have that to reference at some point. Okay. Now, why is it all... There's a bunch of red ink that has scribbled this out. Why is that the case? Okay, don't know exactly what to make of that note other than we got to get to the security room again. I passed it a couple times today already. There we go. Our well-hidden, overlooked secret in the attic has been uncovered. We will potentially return here for our compass. For now, we're not going to spin the roulette wheel just yet because maybe we'll spend our coins in the showroom. And maybe I will do that actually to get an ornate compass. Do I value that more than a chance at an allowance token? I think I do actually, right? Because the allowance token is, when you have 39 allowance already, what's another couple coins on top of that compared to being able to get your hands on an ornate compass? One way or the other, let's dig up the observatory. Here it is. Okay, I was for a second like, is it gonna show me? Is it gonna show me where my spot is here? We get to dig up the observatory. Is it gonna give us another? Is it gonna give us another Baron's Bafflers? Or something similar? Because we're not really supposed to dig up the floor. Okay, it's just a coffers. All right, never mind. All right, we have done this before, like in the archives, haven't we? And maybe the patio as well. There's been a couple rooms where 8 gems, lots and lots of rerolls. Okay, we did dig up the floorboards here, but no permanent unlock like the bedroom. Perhaps that bedroom is just a one-off unlock in that department. Well, now, gosh, the compass. No, we want to make a jackhammer. What am I thinking? We want to make a jackhammer, but we also want to buy the ornate compass, don't we? Okay, but first things first, let's go and make a jackhammer. Before we do anything else, now that we have our broken lever, let's make our way. Let's make our way with all these wonderful steps that we've got a hold of. Now this draft is feeling like it's doing things. We've got a flow going. Very, very strong flow, and we're about to unlock some new progress. I will hold off on buying the ornate compass just until we make a jackhammer. And we see exactly what that does. Shovel. Battery pack. Broken lever. Jackhammer time. It is. Let's go. Putting it together. Putting it together. There it is. Da 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 da. More effective than the shovel at excavation. Digs deeper and finds better items. Okay. Okay. That is, we still have a root cellar to go back to. The root cellar is, has a whole bunch of dig sites. Maybe we go back there now, because we're actually relatively close to, I guess we're, if we go through the foundation, we can go back out to the root cellar pretty easily. Okay. It sounds like the jackhammer does not actually, it doesn't like, it doesn't seem like it's like the power hammer. There's a courtyard right nearby here. There's also there's multiple courtyards. Let's go in this direction, and we're gonna buy an ornate compass. That's what we're gonna do. We should get our hands on a lot more coins as we continue to dig. So I'm okay picking this up now and maybe hopefully getting a chronograph still as well. And now we will head out through the foundation and go back to the root cellar. Let's do it. Now, as I'm saying that, I think I will take a quick little diversion here because we do have the running shoes, and so we basically don't spend steps when we're outside of the house. I think I will take the opportunity. Wait, am I going the right way here? Where did I want to go? I wanted to go to, it's this way. I wanted to go, oh no, I was going the right way. Never mind. I wanted to go to that pile of rocks. This is probably not going to do anything. But I had this wild idea way back when that if we could get our hands on a jackhammer, that we might be able to move this pile of rocks that's next to, here we go. This pile of rocks. No. Okay. All right, fine. Fine. It's not like, it doesn't feel like it's like the power hammer, at least based on the description. But who knows what, it says finds better items. What is that going to mean? I hope it's not just like a detector shovel, which just gets you more keys. These better items, they better be good, is what I'm hoping. Let's go to the root cellar and find out. Let us find out just exactly how effective. Oh, we get a cool sound effect and everything. It is a way for us to get gems. That's cool. You can actually dig up gems with this thing. 2 gems, no less. Whoa. And then 3 gems. We are going to have so many freaking rerolls, guys. We better use rerolls At this point, you better be ready to spend some rerolls. I do kind of want coins as well. I kind of wish, well, I was saying, I wish there was a way to trade in gems for coins. There is a way to trade in gems for coins. You just need a laundry room. Oh, you can dig up dice as well. This is actually pretty poggers. This jackhammer is pretty profitable. Okay, but my excitement is tempered just a little bit because I was hoping it would be like a power hammer, you know? I was hoping that it would get us access to new places and new things. But, okay, that is still good. It is still a good thing. And we now have a note that's clued us in to the existence of the rabbit's foot plus coin purse contraption. Although we're getting close to the end of the draft here, and I don't know that I want to utilize it today. But we'll see, because maybe I just am curious enough where I want to see what it does, you know? The information gathering is always important. I think, though, that is my, my primary goal for the day, then. What would be my, let me look at my stretch goals list again here. We want to get an office. That's maybe like the #1 thing I want to do is just get an office so we can do the chess puzzle. But if we don't get that, we have stuff like, you know, the Nook plus library plus bookshop would be something to aim for. We have an ornate compass, so we get to point rooms wherever we want them. I guess a drafting studio. There are reasons for us to spend rerolls and to spend them rather liberally. When you have a freaking jackhammer, oh my god. Okay, yeah. We're just gonna reroll at every single opportunity. Oh my god, we have a lockpick kit as well. This is so stupid. What is this draft? When have I ever said that before? Like, a passageway here is just not good enough. It just ain't good enough, right? I don't need any of these. This is a redraw, right? The passageway potentially gets us a laundry room, but what do I really need a laundry room here for? Unless I was trying to go for the showroom achievement. That is an achievement, isn't it? Maybe I need to recheck my trophy room list. But I'm pretty sure that it is an achievement to try to buy out the showroom. We're still quite a ways off from that, though, because we haven't bought the master key yet. We would need another 100 coins, and even if we swapped all our gems for coins, we'd still be 50, at least 50 or 60 off from that. I don't think I'm shooting for a laundry room through the duck system, so let's redraw. Spend those dice. It says, well, how about if we go to the boiler room directly? How about that? There are dig sites in the boiler room, but it's just not an exciting enough thing at this point, right? We want other options. We want other options. I do have to remember the ornate compass only applies to the first 3 sets of floor plans. That is one thing here to keep in mind. But I think I keep redrawing. I don't settle. I don't settle. We get our drafting studio. Now, it does point in an awkward direction, but because we have the ornate compass and we have so many rerolls, we should be able to get out of jail. So the drafting studio is on our list. It's on our list of things for actually more than one reason, because I forgot the fact that we have what? We have what? I'm going to very quickly here. No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to check the achievement list, the trophy list, and see if I'm certain that buying out the showroom was one of those achievements. We have, ooh, look at this. We are down to only 2 floor plans left to add. Okay, we only have 2 more to go. The kennel, oh my god. That would have been a fun room to have today, wouldn't it? Each time you dig in a room, unlock all doors in that room, except we have a bajillion keys. So, all right, what do I want to add here? We have the kennel versus the vestibule, and we're very... Vestibule? Whenever you enter vestibule, 3 of the doors in this room unlock, and the 4th one becomes locked. I'm curious to check out both of these. Both of these. Which one would I want to see today? I don't have any particular preference, except that the vestibule would be free. And it would have as many doors as... it would have a whole bunch of doors available to us. I still have the Southern Cross that I could pick up at the observatory, but I don't think I want to do that. It would once again crowd out the office. It would have crowded out the drafting studio. Let me continue to think this over. The other thing that we have left to do in the drafting studio is the safe. And apparently I was very close before. I kind of, I do kind of, when I get the chance, I do discourage comments where people say, oh, you were so close to solving something. I generally try to say don't leave those kind of comments, because if I haven't solved the puzzle yet, it does kind of act like a hint, and I don't really care for hints that I don't ask for. But it's not the biggest deal in the world at the same time, because you're still not giving me the answer. But it is kind of pointing me in a little bit of the direction, because, or at least pointing me in the direction that I'm supposed to go, because if I was close, it says, well, maybe I should re-examine the ideas that I had before. But I did read a couple comments that said I was very close to solving the safe in the drafting studio. I had jumped to this conclusion that the safe here would match the combination of the safe in the study. We can try that, but it doesn't necessarily have to match, right? And it indeed does not match December 8th, even though the layout of this room does feel like it's identical to the study. The whiteboard or the chalkboard and the location of the safe feels like this is a study replica, but it's not sharing a code with that room. So what did I try before? I was looking at the calendar, correct? I was looking at the calendar, and perhaps what I had not put together is that we want to count small gates, and we hopefully want to do it with Occam's razor in mind, and don't overcomplicate this. I was trying to think about, if I count, like, there's 2 different types of small gates. Let's not get complicated on that front. Let's just count the small gates, of which there are 8, correct? What if it's just as simple as November 8th? The month is November, and the number of gates are 8. I don't think I tried that one. I don't think I tried 11-8. Occam's razor. Occam's razor. Don't overcomplicate things, you dingus. I was trying to go like 3-5, 5-3. I might have tried like November 5th or November 3rd. Who knows what combination of things that I tried, except for like the kind of simplest, most straightforward one. We don't get a gem in this safe, but there is a red letter. That is now our 7th red letter. And if Alzara is to be believed, that's the last one we're getting. But 8 is the magic number in blueprints. And man, there's a blank spot here on my blueprint that's just waiting to get filled in. Obviously, do not tell me how many red letters that I'm going to be able to get my hands on. But, gosh, it would sure feel incomplete if we never got to see an 8th red letter. But we at least get red letter number 5 in the overall sequence. So it will be interesting to maybe read these in sequence at some point. Maybe I'll do that as part of my note-taking. Review. The letter is smaller. It is a bit of a miniature letter, even though I can kind of read it, but it is a good thing that we have the magnifying glass just in case. Let's go through it, though. November 8th. Uncle. Uncle. Ah, it's from Mary. Okay, that would make sense. Why did I think we would be writing that? As though we're writing... It's our great-uncle. Herbert is our great-uncle. It wouldn't be written by Simon. Okay, I'm getting distracted. In a few hours, we are departing. As planned, we will be taking the old Mountain Way tunnels to the north. We'll go as far as we can by trolley until the rails give out. Then we'll proceed on foot until we reach the southern border. I've never been as excited, nervous, and heartbroken. I may never know if I've made the right decisions, but I've made the ones I felt my father might have nodded in approval at. I'm leaving a message for Simon here in the safe house, this unhallowed cavern that we have called home for the last year. If something should happen to me, please guide him to this place. Try to show him what these lost days were all for. Explain to him, if you can, the intersection between foolishness and doctrine. The thin wire we stood upon, above the world, holding hands and throwing stones. Holding hands and throwing stones. In those days, we were guilty of everything. As always, Mary. And of course, it's interesting to read this, having already been to the safe house not once but twice. I don't know if I want to review now the message that she left in the safe house. I'm not going to do that. I will just take my my obligatory screenshots. It doesn't seem like there's anything, even though it is a miniaturized note. I don't think there are any details to glean from. Let me look at this one more time up here. This explain just had a little bit of. The E and the X looked a little funny, but I think that's just some poor handwriting. I don't think there's anything secret hidden that can be revealed by the magnifying glass. Can we look at the envelope again? If I put this down and I go back, the envelope is just a 5, right? No gem as well. There's not enough room in the miniature safe to hold both a gem and the letter. But that sort of does... That is an interesting... The fact that there is no gem here... There's supposed to be 8 rubies, right? I wonder if I have that detail right, but 8's the magic number. There must have been 8 rubies. Why is one of them not here? But we have noticed the little ruby holder that was down behind the desk in the orchard. Was that supposed to be in this safe? How did it get out to the orchard? So many questions still. That's awesome, though! Dude, we got to the drafting studio, and we got to open the safe. Because I finally decided not to be a dingus. Now, what do we pick here as our last... I think I'm going to take the kennel. We already have taken the dovecote, and now we're going to take our other animal-related room to go on the estate. And who knows, we might get our hands on it today, and it can be a little bit of extra fun synergy to go with our all the digging that we're doing. Even though it doesn't matter because we have so many keys. But I guess I do that, but also we have the synergy with the not having to pay gems for anything. I don't know. Neither of these choices is probably super impactful to today's draft. I just think the more fun sounding room is the kennel. Cause yeah, it's a kennel, right? Doggos. So let's add the kennel, and we're down to just the vestibule. We have the one more room to add via the drafting studio, and then the drafting studio ain't gonna be so useful to us anymore. So now the question is, I think I just draft out of the studio. This is a point where I might just use my ornate compass and not do any rerolls, just to make sure I get a room that points me to the right. Right? And I have so many elbows compared to, and there's courtyards as well. We can just draft from this door here and not overthink it too badly. Okay, that is not good enough, is it? The mechanarium here only has 2 doors. Although, that actually is good enough, isn't it? Because we have the workshop Well, that's what I mean. We have the workshop, and then the mechanarium would be the second door. But that's okay because the observatory, I think the way this would work is it would give us the door that actually goes out into the rest of the house, as well as the other door would point to the West Wing Hall. But I don't need to settle for that, do I? I don't need to settle for that here. I have so many goddamn redraws. We just keep redrawing, man. We just keep redrawing. I like if I got an office, but it didn't point out to the right, I would probably take it. Because I would say, hey, that's our chess puzzle, isn't it? We've got a chapel and an attic for a bishop. We've got a rook with the clock tower. We've got pawns for sure. And we've got a knight in the observatory. We're set. We would finally have our king and our queen at the same time. And so I just would redraw here for at least an office. Or a door that points to the right. I don't need to settle for the mechanarium. Because I'm not even sure if it would work that way. There's like the little bit of doubt in my mind that the mechanarium wouldn't point the doors the way that I want them. So we're going to redraw. There's no need to be... there's my kennel. Do I just take the den here to say, you know, just guarantee, don't even worry about it. You still have so many redraws with all the other rooms left in the house. Just take the damn den and don't worry about it. Would have been one reason to draft from the West Wing Hall, though, to say, hey, if I do get a kennel, I can take it and still continue my draft. So maybe a little bit of a misplay there. It's just the den is not super exciting. It's not super exciting, but it also just I can use my rerolls in other places. Let's take the den. It's totally fine. It's totally acceptable. And we only have the one door to draft through, so we continue in this direction. Dovecote. If we didn't already have our ornate compass, the dovecote would be on our side. I could take a security room here. This is one of those rooms that I'm kind of interested in looking at. I don't know that we would want to do laboratory experiments at this point. If anything, I would... if we didn't get our hands on an office, I would do the old spread gold function at some point here. I think we take security. It gives us the most doors, and we want to look at the monitors because now we have even more reason to take a look at these things. Take a look at the monitors. It is the office, isn't it? Okay. Why is that important? I am going to take a screenshot of these monitors here because this is these are the ones that keep, we've seen them in 2 different notes now. They are of importance. Oh, that's what's of importance. There's a message here. There's a message here, isn't there? Take the first letter of each room and that gives you a message. That's the discovery. Oh, I think. Does that work? Let's first of all just think about these monitors here. There's 11 monitors that are like from both of the 2 notes that we've seen. Only sketch out these monitors, not the ones over here that have a vault and a music room and a library and a wine cellar. Those, we actually have a duplicate nook, don't we? Because there's the nook here, and you also have the nook up here. Let me see if this makes sense. Hold on. Let's just see if it makes sense. We have a spare bedroom, or spare room, so S, and then we have a walk-in closet. Oh, is it just going to spell swan song? Is that it? It's just going to spell swan song. S-W-A-N for nook. S for storeroom, O for office, N for nursery, G for gallery, swan song. It's our admin password. Okay, so that doesn't really tell us much of anything, does it? The message, though, in the store, not the storeroom, in the safe, what was it called? Not the safe house, but the safe house. It says delete it. Delete it. As in what? Delete the A? But that doesn't help. Does that make a message? SWN. What does deleting the A do? Delete it. I thought I was really onto something, and I guess I was, because this does spell swan song. But I also, that's not new information. The other monitors here, we have another duplicate of the vault. We have the pool and the ballroom. BVP. There's like no consonants in any of these. There's no consonants, and so there's no actual words that are being spelled by the other monitors. Okay, I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to make of it. Let's quickly check the inventory. That's cool that the monitors spell out Swan Song, but I don't think it helps me. Maybe it does, and I will realize it eventually, but I don't get it now. Okay, there is no upgrade disc anywhere. I guess that was to be expected, because I never drafted that classroom. That was one of the suspects on my list. So we just have the compass still. That is somewhere. The attic. It's in the attic. Do I want to go get that compass? At this point, I think the answer is yes. I think I do get the compass because, well, we'll do this first. We'll draft one. Well, okay. This doesn't matter. This is such a non. You don't need this, but I'm gonna do it just because this is part of my min-max brain that is satisfied by changing the security level when we have a security door. This so doesn't matter when you have 14 keys. It's the most useless thing, the most useless decision in the world, but you might as well do it. I guess. I don't know. There might be some reason why that's actually a bad move that I'm not thinking of. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first draft the room that is below security. Let's draft here first. Break room versus Starfish Aquarium versus Cloister of Lydia. Cloister of Lydia. None of these are thrilling. Other than the fact that we get more dig sites in our green rooms. And we get more chances at items in our green rooms. But none of these are super helpful to our goal of getting an office. The break room is cool if we want to start banking tomorrow rooms. That's not the worst. We could rotate it in the right direction and just have another tomorrow room to add to our list. I will go ahead and do that. If I'm going to settle for anything that's not an office, the break room is probably one of those, just because of how valuable it is to start the day with a key card. I love it. So I am going to rotate it, of course, in the correct direction. We'll take the break room, and then I will head back to get the compass. This is where I will pick up that compass so that when we re-roll from now on, we get our rooms pointed in the right direction. And I'll get to check my trophy list as well. Yeah, Trophy of Wealth. Buy out the entire showroom. Probably out of reach for today, but you never know. A vault is still in the cards. So you never know. That could be something that happens today. Give me this compass. Give it to me. I'm going to take a look at this note one more time while we're here. Just in case there was... it's just an O, right? Like, maybe it's an O. That's what it is. It stands for the office. But why is that important? And why is it all scratched out? Scribbled out in red. Why? Questions. Let us go to the break room, however. Continue from the break room. Do our math game just so we don't get it counted against us. We already have lost our perfect score, unfortunately, but we'll try to maintain perfect from here on out. 20 plus 3. It's been a while, but I think I remember how this works. 23 minus 13 is 10. Times 2 is 20. Divided by 4 is 5. Okay. And then we do the addition, and then we square. Is that how we do this? 1 plus 3 plus 2 is 6. 6 squared is 36. Then we subtract 2, which gets us 34. No, I'm sorry. That's not subtraction. Subtract 20 from 36, which gets us 16. And then we multiply and divide by 2, which gets us back to 16. Cool. Okay, that is correct. So the color in the middle indicates when you do the squaring. You do it after the addition. So we add 10, and then we square that to get 100. And then we subtract 30 to get 70, and then we divide by 7 to get 10. Math is fun. Ooh, that's a silver key. I don't know if that's going to be helpful. Silver key could get us what? Anything that I'm interested in? Probably not. It's probably just going to crowd out chances to get the office. So the silver key, probably wouldn't use it if I got a chance to. This is an easy reroll. None of these are exciting to me. I don't care about these rooms. Go away. Yes, I hit my microphone. I hope that didn't come across the sound waves there as I bumped my poor microphone in excitement at getting an office. Let's go. Let's fucking go. We got the room that we've been waiting for. And there's even a trunk in here as well. Beautiful. You beautiful, lovely bastard of a room. The frickin' office. We get some more rerolls as well, but now we kind of don't even care. Because look at that. Look at that wonderful, sexy king. That chess piece that we've been waiting for. Oh, and that's right. We get a gem in here too. Because there's a safe. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I'm going to wait. Because maybe we get our hands on a conference room. And I will wait. Also, we might get our hands on maids, servants' quarters or maid's chamber to do payroll. So there's opportunities to spread gold here, but I'm not going to take advantage of those yet. Do I ever run an experiment here just because we haven't used our Black Bridge Grotto login yet? Maybe we go ahead and just see what experiment we might get. Just because I don't see a downside, I can always just pass on the experiment. So let's just take a quick moment here. It's just the extra time spent on doing that remote terminal access, but I think we can spare that little bit of time. We don't need the shelter. Everything's keys are not a problem. So laboratory it is. Let's do. Connect away. I feel like one of the things that they have done, I didn't look extensively at the updates on the patch notes, but I feel like they have added music. I don't remember on any other day where we have just had a very faint background music playing the entire time. It's been one of these games that's been kind of weird in that there's been a lot of long stretches where there's like no sound because there's no background music in some cases. Once the background music from the observatory or whatever room you've been in most recently runs out, it just goes to silence. But I think they've changed that. We've had music running the entire time, and it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice just to have that little extra background noise. Okay, cool. Yo, look at this. I was talking about this. A letter will be delivered to the mailroom. There are more letters to be delivered. Oh my God. Each time you unlock or bypass a security door? Okay. Okay. We could just get a guaranteed letter by taking immediately, and we would get at least one more letter delivered to the mailroom. But we have maximum security level now. And there are still more courtyards in our draft pool and probably other rooms that would have security doors. I think we do this, right? Each time you unlock or bypass a security door, a letter will be delivered. I don't care about keys. I don't care about dirt on the driveway. This is it. It's either this or we just take the guaranteed letter. But I feel like we should be able to get at least one security door, which would make it equivalent to this, and then we have the upside of more than one. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to take the chance. I think we have enough rooms left to get at least one proc out of this. Cool. So there are more letters. They might not have any new information, and we've seen a lot of the letters had a whole bunch of stuff we've learned already, but this is the kind of thing I'm interested in. We want to get as much information as possible. Cool. That's exciting that experiment still has fruit to be gleaned from it. So great. Now, with that in mind, let us continue. We've got an office. We just need to make sure we get back out to the chess puzzle at some point today. All right, special key versus lockpick kit versus regular key. Well, I mean, it's do we use our silver key here? That's the only question. The silver key could get us the what? Let's look at our room directory to find out. Room directory, please. We could get the rotunda. I think it might make the Chamber of Mirrors more likely, but we don't super care about that. The Great Hall is the room that I was thinking of. Yeah, the Great Hall we don't really care about either. The Cloister of Lydia is... We care about the Cloister of Lydia a little bit because of security doors. Green rooms, like the Cloister, are more likely to have security doors. And we do have so many rerolls, right? So we could take the silver, just use the silver key here, and then reroll to try and get as many chances as we can at a Cloister. That feels reasonable. I think that's okay. I'm not going to lockpick this. Let's just silver key while we... Because we're away from the wall right now, right? And we're doing this in a spot... Oh! Or we just take a close exhibit. I guess that also counts as a room that can show up as a result of the... That's perfect! Because it guarantees us... It guarantees us to... Oh, and this is also really interesting because the... Oh, I really want to take this closed exhibit now. Because, yeah, we're definitely taking the closed exhibit. That is an easiest closed exhibit of my life. I'm so curious. We can't make a power hammer. We cannot make a power hammer. But what I can do is I can check. I don't have to go back yet. I do want to be a little bit conscious of steps. We're at 32 steps. Should be fine. We just need to get back to the foundation, and then once we're outside of the house, we probably make it to the chess game. But I just want to be a little bit conscious of that. We're not going to be... My theory... We're going to step in here. My theory is that the only way you can get this, unless I have not tried to step over the right... Like, is there a part of the rope here where you can actually step over it? My theory, though, is that there's the brick wall behind this paper crown. If we were to go over to security, I think we would see the brick wall. And if that's the case, that's probably something we can power hammer. But we would not be able to do it today. But that's fine. That's fine. But we'll try to confirm that theory after we've drafted the rest of the house. We're basically just going for tomorrow rooms at this point, I think. Oh, or we can go for a classroom. And we can check the inventory again and see if I can cross off the list of a classroom containing an upgrade disc. Because courtyard at this point would be fine, but I would much rather take the classroom. Yeah? Classroom it is. Classroom is one of those rooms that, and there's our letter delivered. Am I going to go ahead and take... Yeah, let's draft from the... Well, let's draft from the closed exhibit, actually. Let's draft from here first and see if we get a room that's pointed over to the left. So we can fill out... If we get to fill out our house here, great. But I don't know if I just settle for a passageway to do that. Boiler room... It's just... I don't care about the boiler room. I don't... super care about the passageway, except it just guarantees us more doors, but with so many rerolls, we're going to be able to get those doors, right? We're not getting a freezer, so we got to spend these gems or else we're losing them. Let's reroll. Dovecoat, don't really care about it, because we've already read the notes in there. but it does get me that room to the left. The pool would give us the sauna. It would put the sauna into the pool. And that would be a tomorrow room to synergize with the clock tower. Because we've already taken the drafting studio and the office at this point. I really should take a look to see what else am I looking for if I'm not taking a pool here. Because maybe there's really nothing else to reroll for. I think it's basically just the conservatory and the treasure trove. Those are the two, and then whatever tomorrow rooms we can get our hands on. But the pool theoretically could gain us access to another tomorrow room. Let's do it. Let's take the pool at this point. Now that we're down to just, we've gotten the 2 big rooms that I was hoping we would get already. So the pool it is. We get another proc on our mailroom experiment. And we will go ahead and draft from the pool. Let's do it. Check for items, and then we'll open the swim trunks. So many keys. I like the coins, though. That could get us... We still have a chronograph, potentially, that we could get our hands on. Except we're only at 27 coins. Okay. That would be a reason to go to the office and spread coins now. Rather than wait for a conference room. Because then we could go buy the chronograph before we draft these last 4 rooms. I think I'm actually going to do that. I think I'm going to take the risk. Because we have the running shoes, I think we should be able to afford this steps-wise. And there still is a good chance that we're going to get dig sites. Although now that we have the jackhammer, dig sites are not as likely to have turnips, I have a feeling. So I can't really count on dig sites to get me steps. So, but I have so many rerolls, I could just keep rerolling until I get my hands on a dining room, right? I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to go back to the office here and spread the gold. Because we're probably not making it to buy the entirety of the showroom. That's probably not going to happen today. Let's spread the gold. We have a metal detector to tell us when we have gold to pick up. So hopefully we can get 3 coins on the way back to the showroom. And in the process, we get to check. Look at this. Wait a minute. Oh my god, it's not. It is not. Oh my god, there is not a brick wall here. There is an exhibit security system. Reveal tripwire, lower barrier, reset alarm system. These are buttons. But then we also have a what? I can see through. It lets me see through to the paper crown. But I have to open the door by reveal tripwire? Hide tripwire. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, this is so much cooler than I was thinking this would be. What? This is insane. Lower barrier? That's how you get them out of the way. But there's a whole bunch of frickin' laser beams in the way. Reset alarm system? You have 10 seconds to get it? No fucking way. And then the tripwire comes back. What happens if we trigger the tripwire? I don't want to find out just yet. What if that like ended your day? That would be kind of sad. Because we still got stuff we want to do today. Whoa, dude, what a discovery. This game is the best. I am so glad I'm playing some Blueprints again today. I have missed it a little bit. I'm realizing this draft has been so much fun. And I'm realizing how much I've been missing. I think it was day 29 that sort of was like, that's kind of a bummer draft. I'll be okay to set down this game for a little while and enjoy some Silk Song. But I'm so happy to get back into the swing of Blueprints today. Okay. No upgrade disc on the inventory. So we can rule out the classroom, I think. So does that mean the rumpus room has a freaking upgrade disc? We had the rumpus room a couple days ago, and I didn't find an upgrade disc in there. What? What's going on with that? So many mysteries still. What was I doing? I was going to go back and buy a chronograph. Am I still going to do that? Can I afford the steps? I think I can. But I am sort of counting on the fact of getting coins along the way. If that don't happen, if that doesn't happen, then we might have to change plans a little bit. No coins in any of these rooms so far. I wonder if I just go out and do the chess game now, before I go back into the house to complete the draft. Because... But I also want to grab the paper crown. What does that do? What does the paper crown do? Oh my god, what are we gonna do here? Are there coins? Can I see if there are coins in the showroom without actually stepping in the showroom? They wouldn't do that, right? Would there be coins over here in this courtyard that I could see? Trying to be a little bit judicious of my steps here, even though I could probably just guarantee myself a dining room at any point. There are still steps to get from the Geist bedroom, aren't there? Okay, here's how I'm going to play this. We are going to take a detour because we are here in the Foundation. I'm going to audible. We're going to call an audible here. And we're going to go play the chess game. And see what this does. Because we have the running shoes. And the steps outside the house pretty much don't count. So we're going to do that. And then whatever happens with the rest of the draft in the house is going to be up to the RNG gods. But at the very least, we will get our A prime objective completed. Who knows where this is going to lead? This could lead to like an entire new section of the underground that's going to take me like 3 hours to fully explore. Who knows exactly how? A day in the life of little Simon Sinclair. I'm so glad, though, the progress that we made today. So exciting. Opening up that maybe last safe. But I gotta think there's gonna be one more. Oh, a slight little hiccup in the draw-in, which gave a very brief see-through of the entire level there. A little bit of draw-in spoilers. Okay, let me look at my blueprint again here. Show me the blueprint, please. Study is at 6-5. Oh, they're right next to each other, actually. That's convenient. 6-4 and 6-5. King and queen living in harmony. Yes. And then we have the rook in the observatory at 2-4. We have the nook in the clock tower at 4-5. 2-4 observatory. 4-5 rook. I think the chapel was at 3-2, if I remember. And then the bunk room was here at 4-3. Yo. Oh my god. Choose your piece to receive a new permanent power. What? We only get one? But you get to choose a new power? Oh my god. Ambition. What? I thought this was going to open up a new part of the estate. It's granting us, we have to make a choice. I'm nervous. Ambition of the pawn. When you reach rank 8 each day, you may choose knight, bishop, rook, or queen. Gain the power of that piece until the end of the day. Okay, well, we need to know what the other ones are. I'm not going to accept this power, obviously. Before we look at all the others, oh my god. Mantle of the Knight. Add the armory to your draft pool. That's our last shop, isn't it? The armory. Oh boy. We're gonna soldier up with grenades and a tank and sniper scopes. I can see it now. The armory. Whoa. Okay. That pawn seems pretty interesting, being able to have the variety of all of these from day to day. Gambit of the Queen. Each time you draft a room on the queen side, the west wing of the house, lose 5 steps and gain 1 key. What? I feel like keys have not been our shortcoming on hardly any drafts lately. So I don't want to get this one. I feel like that is for sure one I'm not picking. Let's see about the others though. Banner of the King. Each day you may choose a color. Rooms of the chosen color are more likely to be drawn while drafting. Could really steer your draft in any one particular direction. Okay. It's really, I see now why that the Banner of the King was not included with the pawn, because the pawn only unlocks once you reach rank 8. Oh boy. Oh my god. Do I have to make this decision now? Piety of the Bishop. You do not have to pay tithes. Instead, gain 30 gold the first time you enter the chapel each day with this power? What? Piety of the Bishop. Okay. We're rich. I'm rich, biatch. I am rich, Bishop. I feel like probably we're not taking this one either. Keys and coins. I just feel like I'm running out of stuff to spend my coins on, but we still have the trophy to buy out the showroom, so maybe not so fast. Resilience of the Rook. You may draw floor plans up to 4 times when drafting the 4 corner rooms of your house. Dude. These are some amazing effects. I'm so sad that I only get to pick one of them. I don't know. I feel like I'm probably ruling out at least the Queen. The Queen is the only one of these that I feel for sure I don't really want. The Mantle of the Knight is maybe the most tempting one just because we for sure add a floor plan to our pool. And it's just there. Adding that permanent floor plan progress. Because how else do we get that, right? If we're not getting the armory with this, with the Banner of the Knight, Mantle of the Knight. These other effects are cool, but man, we want to make sure we fill out the entire floor plan directory, don't we? This is definitely a decision that I will be probably taking a few minutes to mull over here. You don't want to jump into this one lightly. Okay, after a fair little bit of deliberation, it's actually, I didn't actually deliberate that long, because I think this is a pretty clear choice. All the other effects are, they're okay-ish. Like, there are some that are pretty cool, like the re-rolling your corners every, you know, having 4 re-rolls on the corners is just that many more chances at, like, a conservatory. But I feel like the permanent unlock of a new room and just cleanly, completely filling out that room directory is too good to pass up. And I feel like maybe a lot of people make this choice their first time through the game. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I know that the pawn theoretically gives us the armory on those days when the thing is, we have to reach rank 8 first of all, and then we add the armory to the draft pool just for that day. And, you know, your house is already filled out to an extent by the time you reach rank 8. You may or may not get you may get a lot less shots at getting that armory drafted into your pool. In retrospect, I might want one of the other choices, but I think for this save file, I am going to take Mantle of the Night. You've accepted Mantle of the Night. Oh, wait a second. You may give up this power by returning to this chamber on any future day and unlocking the pieces again. That's great to know. This is not a permanent choice. This is not a permanent choice. We have it for now. All the others, they they cover them back up. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, shit. I'm just realizing that there's a cracked wall here, isn't there? Oh my God. This is the... Okay, my brain's getting distracted. We made our choice. And it's not a permanent choice. That's great. We can come and have some fun with some other choices on a future day if we do the chess thing again. Good to know. However, then my brain all of a sudden realized there are cracks in the wall here where we have seen this note in the safe house that gave us the sketch of this, right? This is where the steps are aligned in this narrow. It's a very shallow staircase. I'm gonna just double check. I'm gonna look at the note from the safe house here, but it's gotta be it, right? This is totally it. It's the exact same crack in the wall as well. We need a power hammer, don't we? Maybe. Is there any way I can interact with this? I don't think so. It sure screams power hammer. But who knows? Maybe there's some other way to interact with this. Because technically, the power hammer does say brick walls. You can only interact with it if it's a brick wall, not a stone wall, guys. Not how this game works. I feel like I need a power hammer, guys. But I don't know for sure. There's definitely something sus about this wall because of the fact that it matches the damn note from the safe house. God damn it. Okay. So that means we have a new room, doesn't it? Well, it's not there yet. I guess we have to draft it. I forgot. We do have to draft it. It's not quite like a found floor plan, I guess, where we haven't yet drafted the tunnel. We've had a couple days now to draft this, haven't we? And it has not showed up. Is that because it only can be drafted from a particular part of the house? We haven't got the tunnel to show up yet, but it still is part of our found floor plans. But you don't get the same effect with the other shop. The armory. We got to draft it first. Okay. Now... Now that we have taken care of that business, I think this is actually the spot, since we are here at the front of the house. I think what we're going to do, we have the sleeping mask, and we have not yet got the steps from the Geist bedroom. I think we're going to do that, and also look for coins to the left going to the library, because we still have the rest of the Curse of the Black Bridge to read. This draft is starting to get into that longer territory, like so many drafts do. But I'm hoping we can still... I would still like to be able to make it back to the closed exhibit and get my hands on the paper crown. And I would like to end in the break room, if nothing else. And we got 4 more rooms to draft. I hope we can do it all. I hope we can. It's a good start, getting a running shoes proc going into the entrance hall. There's our 5 steps from the Geist bedroom. No coins, as far as I can tell here. Any coins in this den that I can see? I don't think so. Did we dig up the... We did not dig up the dig site in the commissary, but I'm not going to go there because of the jackhammer and the fact that it's probably going to give us gems. There are no coins in here, huh? Ah, there are coins here. It's just the one, though. It's just the one. And there don't appear to be any coins in the library. Ah, okay. I don't know if we're going to get enough coins to get a chronograph. We still need 1 more coin from somewhere. we will at least get to do the rest of our reading here. Let's go ahead and go through the rest of the Curse of the Black Bridge. We left it off at it was a kind of a cliffhanger that we left it off at. Jesper had just taken the reins of his new, imagine, yeah, I love the dilemma there. Do I take any steps at all? Do I live out the rest of my days just standing here, starving to death, except for the berries that I'm going to be eating? And then you realize that you've got this this carriage to jump into. But then the question is, do I keep the effigy or do I get rid of it? If it's cursed, I would want to get rid of it. But if it's not, it could be worth a lot of money. Jesper is facing wonderful decision points, just like I always am in a Blue Prince draft. Part 2, Below the Black Bridge. Miller, this is a new character. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on third watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than already likely asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Once again, those words are in italics. At some point here, we're going to catalog all the italics words. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked toward the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she'd been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy, never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern, as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentrylands and the Northern Mountains, and the overpass that connected Oris to Reddington. Ah, is this the bridge that's in the postcard in the bedroom? Because this illustration here does feel similar to that. You've got here's their grotto down here below. And then I'm not sure what tree they're in, but they can, this is the vantage point from their tree. But regardless, to the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do, so you can rob them. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farm hands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Black Bridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, 5 years, wow, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. I immediately want to take a closer look at these figures with the magnifying glass. It felt like one of these where it's like you can kind of tell that there's more detail to see when you get close with the magnifying glass. Let's take a screenshot of that, because it does feel much clearer, but I don't quite know what to make of it. These are the members of the Blackguard, but what are they carrying? Are they carrying candles? And why does it look like there's like a third foot that one of them has? Why does it look like, what exactly am I seeing here? Because it feels like this one on the left has like 3 legs. Huh? And certainly they appear so much with more detailed resolution compared to the bridge. So it feels like they're important, but I'm not sure why. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses. Faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. This did not sound like the typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had nocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go. Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing toward the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. I want to say Blackguard, because I think that's how you would normally pronounce it, but I do think in this case it's Blackguard. In any case, the moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had expected a cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain. Yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front 2 wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. I can't help but wonder, is this going to be our buddy? What was his name? Jesper. Is this Jesper? Did the curse actually... He didn't even have to take any more steps, and the curse still got him. Maybe. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the Unholy Hounds came spilling forth from the earth, as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller. half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, oh no, I think this might be my buddy Gentry, our poor little god Gentry with the hood. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, dude, what a name, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. Oh, of course it would be Gentry, because he knows the location of the cave, right? He knows how to get back there. They just didn't know he'd be coming with a carriage. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him, a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Is there anything more to see on that effigy? Is there anything? This one doesn't look like it's as detailed as those figures on the bridge were when we looked at them. Or Gentry! The curse did indeed get him. Oh, look at this. I immediately see the Orinda sigil on one of these gravestones. There's a whole bunch of swords here. I'm looking at the illustration before reading the page because I can't help myself. And there's somebody here in the middle, like a little goblin or something. What the heck's going on here? Let's read. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. Oh no. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket, I guess that means buried, and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker. Oh, maybe that's what's in the middle. Maybe that's the effigy there right in the middle of the illustration. A marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking nearby plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. But of course, if they had to touch the effigy to place it on his grave, the curse is spreading, ? Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her. But even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard heard ahead. Louder speech than she had ever spoken, or heard spoken, in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness, pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed 2 bent fingers against Miller's cheek. And with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. 2 bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. The fact that those Blackguard patrols were on the bridge, right? An hour or so later, the screams began. Blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Oh, that's what it was. I was thinking that the curse had spread as a result of them just touching the thing. But the thing is, it could have just been a made up curse to begin with, right? And that's probably what it was. There was probably no actual curse on the effigy, but because of the thought that there was a curse, it caused poor little Jesper to do something that he would never otherwise do, which is to take a carriage back to the cave entrance. And because of that, none of his compatriots in the unholy hounds would have expected such an approach, and he met his doom. But then in the oh my gosh, in the whole rigmarole, the whole disruption of poor Jesper approaching, they completely forgot that would have been observed by these two. These are oh, he had a rifle. That's why. It wasn't 3 legs, it was the butt of a gun. That's all it was. They were holding guns. Of course they were. How did I not see that one coming? Okay, what a great story. Now to catalog the italicized words. I don't think we're going to include the title in that. Let's just go through page by page and pick out the words that appear in italics. Now, that might include these ones that are in quotation marks, like a carriage is approaching, but I feel like the one-off words that are in italics are going to be the more interesting ones, but I'll still note these just in case. We have my and indignity, and then there's a lockbox in the carriage, but again, these longer sentences might not be important. We have deadly, a gentor, which we still made up word that we don't know what it means. Might, like a hero in a book. Anything. They do, 2 words there. And then we have both below, and go. As well as shouldn't it be day. And then I think that's it. That ending line from the captain. Ah, now they speak, now that they're buried. Buried alive. Goddamn. They really did not like these. They were not about to bring them in alive. Buried, dead, or alive is the criteria for dealing with the unholy hounds. Now, as to these italicized words, my indignity, deadly, a gentor, might, anything they do, below, go. In that order, they certainly don't make any sense. Maybe if we rearrange these somehow, anything they do might... I don't know. I'm making note of them. The italics could just be there simply to emphasize. That might be the only usefulness. So, but it has been noted for the record. I am just realizing this could be a day for us to break open the chapel, to break open the piggy bank. There should be, if we wanted to consider trying to buy out the showroom, the chapel could be a consideration, but I don't think we have quite near enough coins in order to make that a reality. If we assume that there's like 1 coin in there for every day that we've drafted, that would be 30 coins. And then with the coin purse, that would be another 40. We would still have to get like every single coin that we've spread around the house. So we probably don't want to break the piggy bank just to try to get this achievement that might or might not happen. So I think this is where we are going to head back to the foundation. I'll give one more look here into the gallery to see if I can see any coins anywhere. But my metal detector is not going off. So unless there were some coins on the other side of the room, which I can't see any, then I think, because I want to be cautious about my steps, even though I have running shoes, it's cool. We got the Mantle of the Night now on our, I just noticed this is here. So that's in the draft pool. That's cool. I want to go back to the foundation though, because we want to draft the rest of the house. And if we're going to get the chronograph, I still need one more coin from somewhere. And I feel like I have the best chance to get that by going back around and checking the courtyards that are next or right near the foundation. So I'm hoping we spread so many coins around this house. It's just that the house is kind of big. There's a lot of rooms where there could be coins. But I'm hoping that we're going to get lucky here. We did get a lucky running shoe proc just now. That's great. One of these courtyards, though, has to have some coins, right? Right? Or one of these rooms, just a room in general. Any room. Any one of these rooms want to have some coins? God damn it. Shit. I could go to the observatory to get Draxus the Dead. Because now I kind of want dead ends. In addition to my, hopefully, tomorrow rooms that we're going to be getting. So I will go into the trophy room. I'm trying to just get one more dang coin, guys. One more stinking coin. My running shoes are giving me some good procs, though. I'm not getting coins, though. This is a bit unfortunate. What is going on here? I'm going to take Draxus the Dead. I'll take it. No! This is not Draxus the Dead. I'm a dingus. I don't think this has cost us a lot. We got Florealis, Bloom of the Sky. I completely forgot that there was another... Oops. There is another constellation to get. How many stars is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Is that not the same as Draxus the Dead? Doesn't Draxus the Dead also take 20 stars? I guess that's why it just looked like 20 stars, and I kind of figured, well, that's Draxus the Dead. Draxus the Dead is 12. I am so silly. 20 is Florealis. I should have counted and I would have known. It's in the book. It's in the book. Now, at the same time, we've not drafted any green rooms, I don't think, since we drafted this observatory, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, not the end of the world. I'm really a bit upset, though, that I have not been able to get another coin. I just need one more coin to buy the thing in the showroom, and I guess I'm not going to get it, huh? The game ain't going to let me. All the coins must be in the lower ranks. They must be in all of these other rooms. I think I need to get my hands on some steps. I think that's what I need to do here is I need to go and get a dining room. I'd prefer not to get a kitchen because I don't want to spend my coins in the kitchen if I can help it, but we'll see. I might end up just doing it. Because yeah. We're going to get a paper crown. That's one thing we're going to do here. We're going to run around and get a paper crown. This is crazy. We've lowered the barrier, and we just need to reset the alarm system. And then we run around. I'm holding down shift. I'm holding down shift. That was very close. That was cutting it so close. Why did that happen? I wonder what would happen if I stepped into the laser beams. That might be how we end the day. I don't know. I want to end the day in the break room, but also I'm curious to see what happens with the laser beams. Yo, so you don't even need a power hammer. You just need a door on the other side of that wall. This game is crazy. What does the paper crown do? It does have an effect. The familiar red paper crown. If there is not a red room among the first 3 floor plans you draw while drafting, you may redraw floor plans. It does actually have an effect. Also useful for rehearsing museum burglary. So if you don't get a red room, it's just another redraw. This game is something else, man. All the different effects that they have thought up to make your draft that interesting. To make the draft so very interesting. I want to go to the classroom. Because, oh, the classroom has an apple. I forgot about the apple in the classroom. Okay. And it's extra delicious. And there's my coins. Okay. Okay, there are my coins. What I'm going to do... What I am going to do is I am going to draft this room, and I'm going to try to get a dining room, I think. Because I still kind of want the steps. Because why? Why do I want the steps? I want to be able to go back to the showroom and buy the chronograph. And then fill up on tomorrow rooms to end my day. That's what I want to do. The mailroom would be cool to pick up because we have more letters now in the mailroom. I totally forgot about our experiment proc. But we did get 2 more letters there. So at the very least, those are waiting for us. The only thing is we probably wouldn't get a security door through the dining room. I mean, we could also get a bedroom that would get us some steps with the sleeping mask. I'm just going to draft from the classroom. Let's just draft and we see what we get. I'll use the lockpick kit because why not? There we go. Okay, we could take the kennel. We could take the kennel as a new room. We could take it. If I just took the kennel and then I said I want to go back and get the chronograph from the showroom, where would that leave me steps-wise? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm running a pretty big risk if I don't get at least a few more steps here. At some point, because I do have the running shoes, but I'm cutting it so close. I feel like I don't want the kennel here. I want to get it on a different day because I just want to... I don't know. Am I trying too hard to get this chronograph? I think this is my game plan. I think this is how I want to play this, is to go for the steps. I want to get the dining room so I can get the steps. I know we're missing out on the new room, the kennel, and maybe there's like this earth-shattering, game-breaking information that's in the kennel, but I think we can wait. I actually didn't check. I should check the room directory to read the flavor text on the kennel and to know how common it is. The fact that it showed up here in one of the first, maybe not one of the first. We've had the drafting studio for a while. It might be a rare room. I don't know. I'm going to redraw, though. I think it's the right move. I have 6 redraws as well, just from the goddamn... Oh, now I get a conference room after I spread the gold. Thanks. Thanks for that, guys. I appreciate that. Oh, my God. Okay, we're not taking a conference room, and I don't think I need to settle for a courtyard. I'm just going to keep redrawing. We still have redraws from... We still have so many redraws just from gems. Like, we just keep redrawing here, right? We just keep going. I am not settling for a locker room. I guess there could be a bunch of coins in the locker room. Could there also be, like, fruit in the locker room? Let me look at what I've looted before. The locker room has contained a couple apples. There are a couple apples in the locker room. And there would definitely be coins. And we wouldn't have to open. This is actually kind of perfect, isn't it? If we take the locker room here, that could get us a lot more steps. Maybe the locker room does just what I want. I don't have to keep going to get a dining room. But that's assuming that we can guarantee that there's going to be 2 apples. I had this day 10. I have the notes from day 10, which is when we opened up the entirety of the locker room. It might not be guaranteed that at least 1 door has fruit in it. But there certainly would be a lot of coins to get from the locker room. So could we start to think about... if we did get those apples, going back to the chapel to breaking the piggy bank, break open that piggy bank in order to get the showroom totally bought out. It could happen. And the thing is, I could still, even if we didn't get any fruit from the locker room, I could use a whole bunch of redraws out of one of the doors from the pool in order to try to get the dining room still. So maybe the locker room is the right pick here. You know what I'd also realized? I've just realized that we are on the east wing, and there's a chance we have not reverted the master bedroom to... We haven't reverted it to its rare status. There's a chance that the master bedroom could show up here as well, which would give us a whole crap ton of steps. And then we definitely wouldn't have to worry about steps the rest of the day. I don't think I'm going to settle for the locker room. I really want steps, and I would be banking on getting apples in one of these locker room doors, and I don't know that that's guaranteed. So so I don't want to take that risk when I have so many redraws still. I feel like we could go through like our entire room directory to go for any room that we want because we have so many redraws. So let's not settle. Don't settle, right? We don't settle for a bedroom. None of these are worth settling for. We redraw. The vault, huh? The vault. That's a shitload of coins, man. With the coin purse, that's 53 coins. Buying out the showroom is all of a sudden a big time possibility if we can make sure we get the steps. If we can get our hands on the steps. I don't want to do it, man. Get that trophy just checked off the list. We're just not getting any value out of the master key, right? And we're getting, debatably, we're getting value out of the chronograph. We might only have like 2 rooms left to draft by the time we actually get to the showroom, because I still want to get my hands on some steps if I take the vault here. I think I'm going to do it, though. I think I'm going to do it. Because there's so many steps to get around there's so many coins to get around the house, because we spread all the coins with the office. We should be able to do this. And I could break the piggy bank in the chapel if I really, 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 really wanted to. I'm gonna do it? Question mark? I still have so many redraws. That's the thing. There are so many freaking redraws. I'm gonna take it though. I'm gonna do it. I can't resist. I finally got an excuse to take the vault, especially when it's free. Not that we wouldn't. When you have 46 gems, there's not exactly a problem. How do we end up with these ridiculous coin and gem amounts? Oh, right, we're playing blueprints. It's like they designed the game this way. We can afford a master key. We could afford a master key if we wanted. We need 24 more coins to afford the chronograph alongside it. Will that happen? Let's find out. I am going to, because I don't think I could take the risk going back to the showroom and then coming back to the pool from here with 15 steps. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to get to the showroom, and then it would be another 8 to get back to the pool. I'd have to get more than 1 proc. I can't take the risk. I'd have to get like 3 procs from the running shoes. I need to get my hands on a dining room here. I just realized there's another security door here. I really do want to get a mailroom. We have goals. But I think the dining room is the first goal. Now that we have coins, we just need steps. None of these get me steps. That's so many coins from the treasure trove, but I don't think I can take it here. Even though I could rotate it and point it. Oh, I could redraw as well with the crown. We get that as well. The paper crown does its thing. I think this is a redraw. I think this is a redraw because I want steps. I would love a treasure trove. You know, if I got that as like one of my last 2 rooms, I would be okay with that. But I really need to take a dining room here, I think. We redraw. There's my dining room. Beautiful. It feels good. It just feels right. We get another letter delivered, and we get steps. And apparently, oh no, this is reacting to the lunchbox. I was like, we get more coins. No, it's the lunchbox. That's 10 steps though. And we get a pizza. I'm not going to wait for the furnace, right? We're just going to take... Because I don't want to take a furnace as one of my last 2 rooms. I want to have dinner. That's it. I want to have dinner. I want my 20 steps. And then I want to head back to the showroom. I also want to get some more coins. In what order do I do all the things? At the very least, we can go back to security. At the very least, we know we're not going to draft any more rooms before we get the chronograph from the showroom. So we can go back to security and check the inventory, right? We're at the very least doing that. So I can see how many coins I have left in the house, even if I picked all of them up. There are 20 coins left in the entire house. I would have to pick up almost every single coin because I need 24 more in order to get the entirety of the showroom. It might be possible but I would need to get pretty lucky with the running shoes, I think, because that's a lot of rooms to go back through. Unless I decide to break open the piggy bank in the chapel. I might go ahead and do that. I think maybe this is the time to get the piggy bank, because what else am I really gonna say? What else am I really, with so much allowance? We've got 39 allowance to start the day. Like, maybe there's gonna be some super expensive stuff in the armory, but this is one of the trophies we want to check off the list, right? This is when you break the bank. I think we do that. I think I'm gonna do it. We head back to the chapel. It might not be like the most efficient thing ever. Like if maybe if I calculated this out, I could figure out the exact path to make my way through the house and pick up every single coin. Maybe we could make it happen. Oh, there were coins here in the showroom, weren't there? My metal detector wasn't going off when I came in here before. If there are coins, they are tough to... Oh, they're on the shelf here. Okay. Well, that's 93 now. Let's buy the chronograph. We're buying that at least. We know we're getting the chronograph. We now need 17 more. 17 more. I mean, maybe on the way to the chapel, we just get enough, you know? So let's just see what we get as we're heading to the chapel. Okay. There's some in the drawing room. Maybe I'll check the... I might as well check the courtyard and the study over here. Just check these rooms. You never know. Check the clock tower. We got a shoe proc. We're pretty healthy on steps here. This is worth the... This is worth diverting. Changing course to find... the coins! Come to me. I do wish I had that conference room, though. That would have made this a hell of a lot easier. Dang it. No coins in any of these rooms. Shit. Okay. A few wasted steps there. As long as we can make it back to the pool, that's all we care about. We just need to be able to make it back there. And we're at the very least going to be... Yeah, I think we're going to break open... Well, there's coins here in the hallway. That gets us to 71. Now we do, of course, make a tithe here in the chapel. So now let's take stock again here. It is 13 steps to get back to the pool. That's still more than enough. I could take the time to check the courtyard, the pantry, the spare bedroom, the bunk room, and maybe even the gallery, even though I thought the gallery before didn't really have anything there. I might be able to pick up 10 coins. It would have to be 11 coins because I'd need to make one more tithe on the way back to the showroom, but I might be able to do this without breaking the piggy bank, guys, and I have the steps to spare, I think. Let's go for it. Let's give it a shot. Did I see... I think I saw the gallery correctly. I think that gallery has no coins. But I'm going to check these rooms. Because I feel like we've got the steps. Yes! Except there's only a couple here. Or up to 74. I think we're starting to stretch it now. I think if we're going to make this happen, we've got to break the piggy bank. I just think I'm not going to have enough steps. The other coins must be over in the commissary or the veranda or the secret passage, those rooms that are on the east wing there at the bottom. And if I try to go to those, I'm just going to be out of steps. Even if I go back out of the entrance hall through the foundation, I'm not going to be able to take advantage of things the way that I want. So I'm going to settle for... It's going to be way overkill, but we're going to break the piggy bank. We're going to do it, folks. We're going to do it. It's going to give me like 50 coins or some shit. It's going to give me so many freaking coins that I don't need. Maybe if we're lucky somehow, maybe we'll make it to the casino, but I don't think I'm going to have enough to do that. But we reasoned through it already, right? We've got allowance, and there's just things... We're running out of things to buy in the average draft. And we just have almost always have so many coins to be able to compensate for coming up with the coins that we need. This is going to be overkill, but we're going to do it. Break it open. Show me the coins. The Keeper of Tithes can only be broken once? Are you sure you want to break him now? Really? It can only be broken once? So once we've done this, we're no longer going to be collecting tithes? Oh, shit. Well, now that maybe changes the decision a little bit. I thought we were gonna just get a new piggy bank. I thought we would just empty it out, and now we're gonna start collecting them all over again in a new piggy bank. But this is only a one-time thing? That kind of makes me sad, because oh man. I just don't want my shit to go to waste. I don't want shit to go to waste ever, but if I'm not using it now, when else am I using it? The other thing to keep in mind is if we wanted to trade in the chess piece, at some point we could get the bishop instead of the knight, and now we would be getting 30 coins from the chapel, right? So we would be that's our way to get our piggy bank back in the future. I think we do this. We do this. I can't think of too many other things. My instinct of like, oh man, I can only do this one time, and it's not the perfect amount. It's going to be way over what I need, but what else are we using it on? It's a video game. Get the achievements, get the trophies when you can. That was 71? There was 71 coins in there? There was 71 coins in there. Can I have do-over? I take it all back. Put it back in. Oh my god. Oh, I thought like 30, 40 coins, maybe 50. 71 coins. I think I feel a little sick, guys. I think I feel just a little bit. I better make a beeline for this workshop. Oh my god, frames, please. What is going on with my game? My game, man, I've broken... The game cannot actually... I'm having serious frame hiccups here with the game because apparently getting 168 coins is too much for the game to handle. It just can't. I can't sprint because the frame rate is lagging so badly. What the junk? I better head directly for the showroom and grab that master key. No way. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. The master key it's not enough. No, no. No. What the fuck? Oh, now I feel so cheated. Oh, I'm about to be mad right now. I'm about to be fucking pissed as hell, because it costs 100 gold for the trophy of wealth? How can we salvage this? How can we salvage this? Because we've got to get this now. We have to make this happen. We have to find a way. We have to find a way to get a whole bunch more gold. We have to make it happen. There's gold that is still in the house, but I need steps for it. I need steps to be able to go back to the front of the house and still make it back to the showroom. Where do I get those steps from? I could get them from bedrooms. That's one place. If I were to draft a master bedroom would be one way to do it. A master bedroom would be one way. We have one shot at a master bedroom in the upper right-hand corner. Maybe you can get it in the corner, maybe you can't. I have no clue. But we would need the steps, and then we would need the coins, but we said that there are coins in the rest of the house. We just need the damn steps. That's one way. That's one way we make this work. Holy shit, guys. What are they doing to me here? You bait me. You bait me into a fucking... I'm like, well, at least we'll get to buy everything out in the showroom. No, dork. No. Haha, guess what? You have to spend another 100 gold on the trophy of wealth. Bitch. That makes me so freaking... Okay. We might still be able to do this. Oh. Okay. The treasure trove is another way to get coins. So we could get the master bedroom and we could get the treasure trove. Okay. It's a game plan. We have so many rerolls. So it is a game plan. Let's go to... It's just which one do we roll for first? Does it matter? We're going back. We're going back to the doors that we need to draft one way or the other. God damn it. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I need the steps first before I go back. So let's go get the freaking steps. I mean, there's a kitchen as well, right? If we got a kitchen and a treasure trove, that would probably do it. We would probably have enough to afford both the kitchen and the trophy. The trophy. We're going to the security room. But then I don't get my mail room. I don't get my tomorrow rooms that I bought with my, or that I was hoping to get with my chronograph. Oh, there's only 5 coins left anyways. We have to get more coins from somewhere, which is probably the treasure trove. I'm down to, I think I have to get the treasure trove in the kitchen. It's just the way it is. Okay. Okay. We don't get a whole bunch of tomorrow rooms, but it's okay. Things are gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. And we might still get, this is potentially still in the cards to actually get everything. But we're gonna have to get a master bedroom, aren't we? Or we get a kitchen. I keep forgetting the kitchen is a possibility. So let's roll here first to try to get either a kitchen or a treasure trove. Right? Either one of those, I think, is okay. I think. Yeah, either one of those is fine. But that is what we have to get. We have to get one of those. Nothing else can be settled for, pretty much, unless there's some other source for steps that I'm not considering. I would love to get a mailroom. I would love it. I would love to get a mailroom, but I can't do it if I want to actually make things work. Redraws. Redraws. This is a redraw. This is a redraw. No, you're giving me a rumpus room? Wait a second, though. The rumpus room is coins. Is it enough coins? It's so close to being enough coins, but it's just not. It's 8 plus what? How many would we get from 8? 3? It's 11 at most, isn't it? Why must you be so cruel? Could it ever get us 12 coins? Could it ever work that way? It's a rumpus room, though. It's a goddamn rumpus room. It's another Alzara cutscene. Shit. Oh my god, why are they doing this to me? What is happening, man? What is happening? Oh, now, okay. We do have a metal detector, correct? So there's a possibility for coins to appear in the rumpus room in addition to the coins that are already there, right? Man, I hate that they're doing this to me. But I did realize, something I realized here is that we can at least redraw once and we can still rewind with the chronograph. So we can see what our next options would be if we don't take the rumpus room, right? Let's do one redraw because we can bring back the others. Okay, we definitely won't take these over that. So we would rewind here. And that would bring this back. You can keep rewinding. Is that true? The chronograph just keeps going? Wait a second. Oh my god, is that... Whoa! So I could redraw and then rewind? Is that how that works? Wow. Well, there we go. There's my get out of jail free. So I don't want to skip a rumpus room, but if I have to end up settling for it, I will. But that's kind of cool. I didn't realize that the chronograph can be used unlimitedly. That's not a word. Limitlessly. It don't have a cap. Apparently, it doesn't say that it has a cap. We keep searching. A nursery. I don't think that's quite good enough. It gives us 13 steps, correct? But I don't think that's quite enough for what I want to do. Is it? I want to be able to go back to the showroom and then end the day in the break room. Maybe it is good enough. But I would be banking on getting a treasure trove up at next to the dining room. There is also a storeroom here. What am I doing? A storeroom. Does that just get us there? Does a storeroom just do the thing? It's 10 coins, and it would get us 3. That gets us there, because we get 13 instead of 10. The storeroom solves our problems. But we miss a rumpus room. I wish I could determine for certain how... I mean, I can determine for certain, can't I? We're picking up 8 coins from the rumpus room. The coin purse says whenever you get 3, gain an additional 1. So we're going to get 3 twice out of that 8 coins. Add on 2 gives you 10. We come up short with the rumpus room. It doesn't get us there. But we still have those coins in the early part of the house. So we would be getting the rumpus room, and then we would have to get the master bedroom in order to have enough steps to go all the way back around to check those remaining rooms. Ooh, I just don't want to fuck this up. I don't want to like miscalculate and come up like a coin short when we're so close to getting this frickin' showroom trophy. Now that I know, especially that it's 100 frickin' more coins, we're so close to getting it today, we might not ever have another great chance like this. But I'm also a greedy bastard that wants to get another Alzara cutscene. I want to have my cake and eat it too. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm not going to be greedy because if I take the rumpus room and I'm just like a coin or 2 short, I think I have to get a master bedroom in that last room. And I'm just not like, I know it's supposed to be on the east wing, but I'm not, I feel just unconfident enough that I could guarantee that the master bedroom is going to show up even with 40 plus rerolls. I just don't feel certain that I can get the master bedroom no matter what. So because of that, I want to leave myself the out of being able to get the nursery or something else that gets me steps, like maybe the kitchen, by buying like 1 banana or something like that. I think I'm just going to take the storeroom here. This feels so bad to pass up an Alzara cutscene. But we did make the rumpus room commonplace, correct? We changed its observatory rarity, I think. I could be wrong about that, but I just don't want to take the chance. This might be our only shot to get this showroom trophy. It's certainly our best shot that we've ever had, and I want to make sure this happens. And if I don't do a damn other thing with this draft, it feels bad to do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to make the call. I forgot there's dig sites in here as well. We could get steps from these dig sites. That could change. There's our 100 coins. There it is, man. There it is. We're going to dig these up. Maybe. Okay, more rerolls, sure. Maybe it gives us a turn up, but I feel like that's going to be less likely with this jackhammer. We haven't seen a turn up yet, I don't think. It's been all gems and dice and coins. So, okay. Now the moment of truth, though, because we have to get some steps from this last room. Very last room in the house. We've done another 45 room house, by the way. Fun times. I have a special key. Oh, I have the master key. Yeah, okay, sure. We'll do the lockpick kit. Or no, we'll use our master key because we've never been able to use the master key before. Let's do it. Right? Is it only a one-time use? That'd be kind of silly if it was a one-time use. I feel like it should be there forever and ever and ever. We do hold on to the master key. I am also noticing that the other showroom items here that we've picked up, they all have their own special little coloration. It's not just the emerald bracelet. The emerald bracelet is just the most noticeable. Easy reroll. Use the paper crown. Easy reroll. Use our dice. Easy oh my god, are we getting repeats here? There's a conservatory which I want to take, but I can't because I need steps. But I could keep rewinding. If I had to settle for a conservatory, I guess I would want to settle for that, right? Because that would basically be where our draft ends. So let's redraw. Dude, we're getting... Oh my god, there's the armory. We're not taking that today. Weapons and armor for sale. What the hell? It's also a black room. We have not read the flavor text. Oh, though it doesn't show up in our room directory. We need to read the kennel, though. That's the one thing I was thinking of. The kitchen, we can't take the kitchen because I wouldn't have enough coins. I have to rewind. I'm rewinding because I want to get the conservatory, if nothing else. I'm curious about the armory, though. I'm curious. I'm rewinding. But we're getting repeats, so these redraws are not... This is why I'm not sure we're going to get ourselves a master bedroom. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Redraw? Yeah, redraw. Because we're getting solarium, music room. We've seen all these. We've seen them. I'm going to keep going back to the conservatory because I seem to not have a limit on that chronograph. There's that treasure trove. There's a servant's quarters that would get me 5 steps. But I don't think that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I would have to get 1 shoe proc on the way back to the showroom. I don't want to run that risk. The servant's quarters not good enough. We could take a nursery. I might settle for a nursery if I have to. But let's not... We're not going to bank on that. Rewind. And redraw again. We have so many frickin' redraws. This is ridiculous. The dormitory is no good here at the end of our draft. Rewind. Another treasure trove. Yeah, these get redrawn with replacement. There's still a chance that we never see the master bedroom here. So I'm kind of glad that I took the storeroom. But at the same time, Even if we took the storeroom, we're still not making it back to the showroom. So this still might be a fool's errand. I may not get my wish here, guys. I might still end up Schitt's Creek, or whatever you want to say it. I can't take the kitchen. It's not good enough. Can't do it. Can't do it. We got so many rerolls. We got to get lucky at some point. There's a nursery. There's a nursery. I'm taking the nursery here, right? This gets me 13 steps. We step in to spend one of them, and we end up with 16 steps. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to get back to the showroom, and then we buy our trophy. And then maybe we make it back to the break room, but probably not. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Wait a second. I don't have redraws? I can't keep redrawing here? What's going on? Did I actually run out of redraws? What the fuck? Is that bugged? Or is there actually a limit to redraws? Well, now I'm not taking a chance on this. I'm definitely taking the nursery. I don't know what's happened, why my redraws are gone. I still have 36 gems. What gives? It's kind of annoying. There are things about the game that feel buggy sometimes. There's not really that many buggy things, to be honest, but that's an interaction there that I don't understand. Feel free to explain that one to me. Usually don't tell me anything. In this case, if you know why, if it's a bug, or if there's a reason for it, feel free to tell me. I'm open to knowing, but I'm taking the nursery here. I'm hoping this works correctly. I do have a sleeping mask, right? Nursery. Holy fucking shit. We get the 8 steps, and then we get the sleeping mask steps. We get another gem, which doesn't matter at this point because there's no rooms left to draft. Ain't no more rooms. Oh man, the exhaustion at the end of a draft, but I'm hoping that it is going to end in a successful draft because we are going to end up with, we may not end up with a key card, but I think we're going to end up with a showroom trophy. God damn it. And it turned out, holy shit, did it turn out that the stinking piggy bank was so useful. It was perfectly just. Now I feel great about the piggy bank, at least. I don't feel bad about the piggy bank anymore. I just feel a little bad that we had to pass a rumpus room, but it turned out to be the right choice, I think. I think I'm going to be vindicated for it. Let's see if we can get another tennis shoe proc. There's a running shoe proc. That's good. That's good. You know, we might make it back to the break room. Trophy of wealth, you son of a. They pulled a sneaky one on me, but we still found a way. God damn it. Give me that freaking trophy out of my game. No, it's not out of my game. It's going into my trophy room, though. Trophy of wealth for buying out the showroom's entire stock, including this stupid hidden trophy. Stinking A. All right. Oh my God. And we have 7 steps. I better not go in the drawing room. That's not the direction I want to go. All right. This is where, oh my God, we're going to make it back to the break room, you guys. We're going to make it back to the break room. What more can you say? This has been an awesome draft. This is where we will wrap up this installment of Blueprints. Thank you all, as always, for hanging out with me all the way to the end. Let me just make sure I don't go in the wrong direction here as I'm wrapping up the show. Look at this, dude. We did this closed exhibit and we got our hands on a paper crown. This ended up being a massively productive draft. I think the other thing, before I forget here, the other thing that we can do is we can check out the kennel text. Home to several of Sinclair's hunting companions, it can be assumed these friendly hounds have been anxious to meet their new master. It can be assumed these friendly hounds, are there actually friendly hounds in the kennel? Oh my God. Actual doggos? Okay, we have to draft this next time. It is a standard, so it's going to be showing up. All right. Call it a day. In the break room, we get a couple keys to start the next day because we have a couple tomorrow rooms to go with our clock tower. There's nothing else to do. We're out of steps. That's all she wrote. The lights are being shut off on day 30 in the estate. But thank y'all for hanging out with me to the end. If you did enjoy the draft, if you did enjoy the video, consider doing the YouTube thing, hitting those buttons down below. We have ourselves a garden excavation site of the dead, 7 green rooms, 38 excavated dig sites, and 12 dead end rooms. We actually got 12 dead ends, huh? There we go. What an amazing draft. One more, we got maybe our last safe open in the drafting studio. Hype. We solved the chess game by getting the office and the study, and we did the chess game thing. We have now the armory that I want to draft next time. The kennel, the armory, new rooms to check out, and of course the one more vestibule to be added when we can get our hands on another drafting studio. We found the new note in the attic, but I don't quite know yet what to make of that information. We had an awesome time reading The Curse of the Black Bridge. Great story, and perhaps some sus clues in there, and so many more, you know, connections to new clue that need to be put together. Stay tuned for a potential note review bonus video, but I'm excited to see what day 31 is going to have in store. God damn. We got our hands on a paper crown as well. This game is too much, man. I love it, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next time. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.